you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Good morning. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Big E, of course, is here. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Miguel. I'm quite well. I'm in the target range today. Thank
good.
you for having me.
Yes.
I'm pleased to be with you.
Very good. Finally made it to the final show of the week.
Show number 5.
Yes. Welcome all. Lot to get to today. We're going to make a phone call today.
Who we calling, Mike?
Calling a church, Jay. We're going to call down to
the nudist guy.
Well, I don't know. Nudity in church seems to be
Hand in hand.
I guess. Who would have thought? So we'll buzz down there later. We should give a brief update on our dear friend. God damn it, son. Not God damn it, son. Actually, God damn it himself, Uwe, who we mentioned briefly the other day. He's in the hospital.
Is he still there?
Yeah, he's still there. He was strapped to his bed. That son of a bitch.
God damn it.
When I went and visited him, and I was telling you guys that they were like, oh yeah, Mike's here to see you, and so I go over there. I'm like, how you doing, Uwe? Or how you feeling? He's just whispers like shit. Apparently he's turned a corner though.
Good.
And the Fuhrer himself is doing a little bit better. He ate solid foods.
Oh, big step.
Yeah, and he I think he got some help and was able to go to the shitter by himself or something like that. And you know who's doing better when Derek told me that the old man came to a little bit.
Oh boy.
Gross.
Yeah. Who's gonna clean that up?
The diaper.
The first thing he said when he kind of
the diaper.
The first thing he said when he came around was, order me a 16-year-old.
Oh boy.
Come on, 18, Ooh. This is 2015 or 16.
Now
you can't I know 16 is consent, but I mean,
yeah. Now the brilliance about that why that's awesome and relevant is the fact that it shows Uve's sense of humor. Obviously, Uve doesn't want anyone to order him a 16-year-old.
Well,
yeah.
Is that obvious?
Well, you know what I'm saying? But it's so funny that son of a bitch comes out of a haze a little bit, and the first thing he says is, order me a 16-year-old. Derek's like, dude, it was fucking epic. You should have seen the looks on the nurses' faces. They didn't know what hit them.
Can they even understand him?
Probably not. Yeah.
What about a beer? What about some Labatt Blue?
Yeah, some blue. Not
No?
yet. I don't think they're serving that there. But anyway, it sounds like he's turning a little bit, which is good news.
So please, if the audience could send thoughts and prayers his way.
Thoughts and or prayers.
If you had to pick one?
I'd go with thoughts.
You can
personally.
only give one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I guess
thoughts.
prayers are good. Sure, why not prayers? Add prayers if it's not too much to ask.
Thoughts. Oh, I'm just thinking about
Please direct your previous thoughts and prayers to any loved ones that you have and direct them this way. They'll help. A lot more will help this guy. Not as many people are gonna be. Don't you think?
Well,
we need good karma for.
Yeah, we do need good karma for Uve. I've always said Uve's going to be he's like he'll be alive at 110.
He's a cucaracha.
Yeah,
he's probably staring death in the face, going, "Fuck you, death."
Not yet.
Yeah.
Go away. I'll let you know when I'm ready for you.
Yeah.
I did start to do that though the other day when I first got news of this. That Uve was having some problems and Derek texted and I think I started to write that like, oh, hey, he's in my thoughts. And I was like, do I sound like a douchebag saying like, it sounds creepy. Someone's in your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, but I was thinking about him. So, what if people have extra thoughts and prayers that they don't mind expending
one, right?
Yeah. Uve could use them. Anyway, big day yesterday. Obama finally chose his made his choice for Supreme Court Justice. Interesting pick. 63-year-old guy.
Yeah.
which they say is kind of old for someone to join the Supreme Court.
Yeah, the big phrase you heard yesterday, it doesn't appear to be a legacy pick by Obama, because
Mhm.
if that were the case, he'd pick a 40-year-old who'd
Yeah.
be there for 45 more years,
Mhm.
more than half his life.
Right.
Very political move, though, and the irony is
Totally.
it's all, the speech leading up to it is it's all non-political, and any politics that come into this are going to be on the Republican side.
Right.
Give me a break.
Yeah, it's a joke. Do people buy that though?
I think they do.
Really? Merrick Garland is who we're talking about.
Because don't you feel yourself looking at this like, well, I could see it kind of both sides.
Totally.
You know?
Totally.
I could sort of, yeah, I sort of see what he's saying. You know, get the guy in there so they can do the country's work,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like falling into his plan, his trap.
Yeah. Well, and you can definitely see it. I know the Republicans' argument or the right's argument
Which,
is,
by the way, would be the left's argument.
Of course
if she were
it-
on the other foot.
it's not even in question. You're absolutely right. But the argument of, well, it's important we let the country decide this, and I understand the left's response back to that, which is the country did decide that when they reelected Obama. He's
Yeah.
been elected for 2 terms. They did decide who should make this decision. So you can totally see both sides. But the interesting thing is, you're totally right. It's politics right down the middle, where everyone's split, and if you reverse this, it'd be the exact same thing on the other side.
Yeah, and don't forget, it's true. The country elected Obama, and he has every right to nominate, but the Senate has every right not to, what do you call it? Not to confirm
him. Yep. Do you think it's petty to not even like fake going through the process? Is that seems like more games being played, or is it just like, no, we're not going to go this route, so fuck it, whatever?
It's going to appear petty, and it's going to really put them in a tough spot politically, because what he did is he nominates Merrick Garland, who is older than he could have and is apparently less liberal than he could have done.
Yeah.
More of a moderate guy, and he put the Republicans in a really tough spot, because now he's making them look like assholes for not even putting this guy up to a vote. And it's going to particularly be tough for Republicans who are up for Senate seats to avoid criticism that they're being obstructionist.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have both sides playing the games that we're talking about, going, well, it's his right to nominate, but it's our right to not confirm if we don't want to. And then the American people are sitting here like we've done forever, just going, God, these guys are assholes. They can't get anything done.
Yeah.
It's just a big log jam.
And this really is kind of the play for the Republicans, because the concern is, you get to November, you lose the election to Hillary, which a lot of people believe would happen, and then she goes and gets some 22-year-old super lib and throws this idiot on the panel for the next 900 years and changes the whole makeup for generations. But there is a small window in there where
they could nominate this, or they could confirm this guy if they wanted.
If she wins the presidency before she takes office, you'd have a window of a couple months there where you go, okay, we'll take this guy. He's the lesser of two evils. So, I mean, it is the move. You'd be dumb to say yes to this guy right now.
Yeah.
Even if you thought he was a good choice. And he sounds by all accounts like a decent choice, tough on terrorism. I mean, he's the guy that tried the Oklahoma's Tim McVeigh and that whole group with Oklahoma City bombing, and he was part of the Unabomber trial. But anyway, I couldn't help but think he was just a sacrificial lamb sitting up there yesterday as they're going through his whole career.
Yeah, and you feel bad for him because he gets up there and he immediately weeps.
Yeah, he's crying.
He's so taken by the moment. It's like, dude, you're a pawn, man. I wouldn't get too excited about this.
Yeah. I know some people will take issue the fact that he's another Harvard law guy.
They're all freaking Harvard,
dude,
Yale,
it's
whatever.
crazy. I was looking yesterday at their credentials. It's insane. Like the level of schooling, like John Roberts, Harvard, Anthony Kennedy, Stanford, Harvard, Clarence Thomas, Yale, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Cornell, Harvard, Columbia, Stephen Breyer, Stanford, Oxford, Harvard, Kagan, Oxford and Harvard, Sotomayor, Princeton and Yale, Alito, Princeton, Yale, this
best.
guy, Harvard. Yeah. It's great. It'd be nice though. Wouldn't it be kind of cool to shake things up and throw someone like Oakland Community College. You
Yeah,
see,
right.
like, you know, going to the Supreme Court justice, you know, Mike Walters did a brief stint at Oakland Community College, barely graduated
Got
from
his
Harrison.
GED in 1992.
Big E graduated twice from 8th grade. Went on to Lakeland High. Went to Specs Howard.
Funny how
There's Big E sitting on the panel.
funny how it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
moreover, most of these guys have clerked for some prior justice too.
Yeah, who did this guy clerk
I
for? He
don't
clerked
remember.
for one of them, I thought. Breyer, maybe? Doesn't matter. But anyway, let the games begin.
Yeah.
The other games going on, God, I can't stand our media. The story yesterday that was really big was Trump went on CNN's New Day, which is the morning show on CNN, and he warned of riots around the national convention if he doesn't falls. Basically, his point was, look, if I don't hit 1237, say I hit 1100 delegates and I fall just short, and the next closest guy has half that, they're going to have a real problem. You can imagine what that would be like if I don't get the nomination and they do some backdoor deal to get someone else in. And so he basically said, I think we'll win before getting the convention, but I can tell you if we're short, if we're 100 short and blah, 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 I think, and we're way ahead of everybody, I don't think you can say we don't get it automatically. I think you'd have riots. I'm representing a tremendous many millions of people. If you disenfranchise those people, I think you'd have problems like you've never seen before. I think bad things could happen. I really do. But
Is that just figuratively, Mike, or is he really saying?
Honestly, I think it's totally that. I mean, and here's what bothers me. I know most people watch this stuff in passing. That's why they put the scrolls on the bottom of the TV. So people are just kind of walking through their kitchen and they see Trump warns of riots if not given the nomination. And people see that and they're like, oh, wow. And that's kind of all they pay attention to are these little blips of things. And so it's this subliminal thing as if Trump warned of, like, he's
Better not
leading the
screw
charge.
me.
Don't you even think about it. We will riot in it. Like, and all day yesterday, talking heads going back and forth all day. Well, I mean, this is just so inappropriate. Absolutely inappropriate. He's leading the charge for riots. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? It's so infuriating to watch this stuff going, that's not what he said. It's driven me nuts, and it drives me more nuts than most people, I'm sure, about this bullshit media that we have that
You watch
plays
more
this
news
game.
than most people.
No, I know, and I have for a long, long time. But it's so frustrating and irritating. And I think, a lot of people see through this shit. But, I was watching Jake Tapper yesterday, and he was talking about this commercial that was played. E, do you have this video of this?
Oh, yeah.
The new Trump ad against Hillary, and
Right.
and so the panel of heads is talking about what's Hillary going to do? Is she going to go after Trump now? And Jake Tapper's up there and he's like, well, is she going to be able to find the silver bullet that to take down Donald Trump? And then he stops himself and he's like, he looks into the camera, he's like, I want to be very clear, folks, that by referencing
No
silver
way.
bullet, I do not in any way mean to imply violence of any sort. It's
My God.
in mythical terms, it's what would take down a werewolf. Anyway, back to our discussion. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, you 2-year-old? You needed to explain to your public that, let me be clear, I don't mean to incite violence. Stop it.
These word games everybody plays.
Oh, it's just so infuriating. Anyway, Trump set out this commercial yesterday on Instagram. He's using Instagram. I didn't know he was on Instagram, but warning that and he tapped into the drop that we pulled a long time ago, the barking dog.
That one?
Yeah. That's the one. That goes back to, she was back to the Arkansas days, right? Wasn't she referencing?
He's talking about an old political ad or something, and every time somebody lied, this dog would bark. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so she imitated the dog barking, and it sounded like this. I don't know why you wouldn't woof woof
Yeah.
if you had to do it.
I think she's an embarrassment to our country.
Oh, really?
She doesn't have the strength or stamina to be president. in her victory speech, she was talking about our commander-in-chief has to be able to defend our country, not embarrass it.
Oh my God.
When we hear a candidate for president call for rounding up immigrants, banning all Muslims from entering the United States, when he embraces torture, that doesn't make him strong. That makes him wrong.
Oh, she loves those little word yeah.
rhymey things.
God,
Doesn't make him strong. It makes him wrong.
just resonates.
Yeah. So anyway, here's his new commercial aimed at Hillary using the dog thing. When it comes to facing our toughest opponents, there's Putin slamming a guy down, ISIS guy with a gun. The Democrats have the perfect answer. Putin laughing. We don't need to be a punchline. Trump, make America great again when it comes to facing our toughest enemies.
That's
Kind of funny.
pretty ironic.
What?
I think most people would say Trump is the punchline.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a break.
For sure. For sure. Hillary is too. I mean, the fact is they're both hated by a lot of people.
Yeah, but she's not just laughable. Yeah, she did that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's other sound bites you could pull, but come on, man.
Mm.
Trump's a clown.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
All right, Putin has to laugh at one of the two. Which one is he laughing harder at? Let's be honest.
Probably both. He's probably laughing at both. He's probably laughing at anybody that would be in the office. By the way, they canceled the debate that was scheduled for this Monday.
The Megyn Kelly effect.
Yeah, I don't know that it has much to do with Megyn Kelly.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Trump just picking and choosing which Fox debates he's going to do?
Well, I think it sounds like they kind of line these things up, and so he's got his schedule that he knows about, and then they're the fact is they make a lot of money off these and they get a lot of attention, so they just kind of schedule ones and finally someone sprung it on him. It was just like, so are you excited for the debate money? He's like, what debate? And like, yeah, you got another debate. He's like,
I thought these things were laid out months in advance. No.
Sounds like they add more. We've had enough debates, and he planned to skip this one. Kasich said he wouldn't participate if Trump wasn't there.
Why not?
They both bailed out. Do we need to do more debates, really? Do you think we do?
Yeah, we haven't heard anything from Trump other than my numbers are great. And
yeah, but as far as
that's I bet why it's down to 3 now. He's going to have to stand up there and actually talk for more than 30 seconds.
Well, I don't think that's the end of debates. I think these ones that are added is the ones he's not interested in doing. He announced he would not participate. Shortly afterward, Kasich said he wouldn't without Trump at the debate. Ted Cruz expressed a willingness to debate Trump or Kasich or both, but obviously,
why wouldn't Kasich go and just take the time? The air time of being on national TV like that. He's been pushed into the corner, just off the side of the stage for months. Why not?
Yeah,
why not stand front and center and debate Ted Cruz?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know, especially if Ted Cruz says he'd be there.
Yeah, of course, Ted waits for the other two to bow out and be like, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I'll debate you anytime, anywhere.
What's wrong, E?
Nothing.
Oh, was something muted?
Yeah. It was me. Who cares?
Oh, perfect. Well done, E.
I
thought you meant the friggin' YouTube again.
No, it was me.
So everything's running smoothly.
Yeah.
Broadcast is
Yes, it was just me.
going well.
Yeah.
God, it's only April. Isn't the convention in July?
Yeah.
I'm so done. I don't care anymore. Can we just pick one and we can have the
yeah, I think we'd all like that. Yeah, you're
That's
gonna
what
be
we're
stuck
doing,
with it
E.
for a
We're
while.
just picking one.
No, I don't mean it like that, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, Jared Fogle apparently had a rough go in jail.
Another one. He got beat up last week too, didn't he?
Did he get? I was trying to think of that. Did he get?
He got smacked around in the lunchroom or something.
Slapped about the face. You're right.
That's in the lunch line or
Somebody
something.
came up and just owned him for a second.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be very hard, I'm sure,
Oh,
for
I
these
know.
guys in prison.
He got a pretty sound beating in the prison yard by a 60-year-old guy, this armed robber who hates child molesters. They all say that. They really draw the line at child molesters apparently in prison. That's the one thing. Like, you murder, you're kind of a badass. You touch a kid, it's like, you monster.
Probably 2/3 of them were molested themselves. So,
oh yeah, you're probably right. It probably does have something to do with it.
Harkening back to some rough times in their lives.
So Jared was apparently tackled to the ground and then punched repeatedly in the face.
Jesus Christ.
Just the 38-year-old was left with a bloody nose, scratched neck,
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
I know,
swollen
dude.
face.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, he was living large.
Hawking Subway sandwiches.
That's right.
Yeah.
Standing
Just
there
a
with his
superstar.
big jeans with him,
Carrying his jeans everywhere he
making
went.
millions.
Sitting on the CBS Sports panel, talking subs with the NFL
I
Today
know.
team.
How ridiculous having to fucking do. I mean, he was doing everything, dude. Starting NASCAR races. They'd have the Subway 400. So Jared would be
Really?
like, gentlemen, start your engines.
Yeah.
Ran that marathon.
He had the world by the tail.
God, it was
God.
all his.
That whole thing took it to a whole new level for me personally when you heard the tapes that Dr. Phil played of the chick down in Florida who recorded him. They were so chilling and they were monstrous.
That's how matter of fact he was.
Yeah, just like yeah, like I mean, really the younger. I mean, he's such a nerd and a douchebag. The idea that he'd be taking advantage of anyone taking advantage of children, but especially this fucking nothing. You're a nobody. You were a fat slob asshole who happened to shed a couple 100 pounds, and now you're worth $20 million. Give me a break. And using that to leverage, to run around the globe, taking advantage of the situation, and it was monstrous. If you haven't heard those tapes, they're tough to listen to, but not that you need it. It's kind of like the Ray Rice thing, like seeing it made it that much worse. Yeah. And it's very much like that, hearing the audio tapes of Jared. But anyway, this guy, Stephen Nigg is his name. Stephen Nigg assaulted Fogel, pushed him to the ground, and striking him multiple times to the face with a closed fist. In the report, they said Fogel sustained a small cut on his hand, an abrasion on his knee, as well as the swollen face and all that shit. Nigg is serving time on gun charges. Anyway, he did end up getting some time in solitary confinement. There's Mr. Nigg.
He looks about what you'd expect.
Like a guy, I would not want that guy beating me about the face and neck. Just that's me personally. I don't know how you guys
funny how
feel
for the
about
most part, other than child molesters, and even they can have a look. For the most part, people are in that level of prison. They just look like they'd be in that level of prison. I don't know.
I know. Look at that guy.
Like,
yeah, if you said WWE or prison yard,
right?
Like, yeah, okay, I see it.
What if you said? I know we always use it, but the Firm. I mean, let's just be honest.
Right.
Like, would you see a guy like that walking around the Firm?
You would not. He's bald. He's got a long beard going on. Yeah,
long goatee. I don't know, something about that name too, Stephen Nigg. I think, like they say, they all call him.
I'm changing my last name.
They all call him Nigg. That's his name, and it's like I don't know that I'd be comfortable just being like, "My Nigg, what's going on, my man?"
N-I-G-G.
Yeah, N-I-double-G. Like I don't know that I'd personally be comfortable like even saying his name in the prison yard.
And again, I was referencing the idea of having a real job and whether you look at that guy. But if you were trying to get if he just say he was a person trying to
Justice Nigg.
Yeah, I'm changing my last name for professional reasons. Like I just feel like you would not. I don't know, looking for a real job.
What would you go with? Would you still
something
have
up.
a play on Nigg? Would you keep that?
Probably not. I don't know how you could play on that.
Like Fred Trump did with the Drumpf name.
What?
Yeah, that was apparently Trump's name when they originally moved
Drumpf,
here. DRUMPF or something.
Nice.
And he changed it to Trump.
Stronger.
Yeah, and I agree. It was a good move. President Drumpf doesn't work, does it?
No.
But yeah, it'd be a tough one. I don't know what you go with.
Well, you might have to just make up a new name, but
yeah.
I wonder what his middle name.
I think it's that big of a deal. What's so?
I don't know.
N-I-G-G.
Yeah.
I just feel like there'd be.
You know what it is. I wouldn't feel comfortable running around the
but
I'd
it's
take
not
my
like
middle name and have
change the name worthy. I don't.
Okay, well, I'll probably take my middle name and use that on resumes. It's probably what I would do.
Hey, this segment's brought to you by Mayer and Company Accountants. Paying taxes sucks. The whole process is confusing and time-consuming. Let Kyle Mayer and his firm handle your personal or business taxes. We know that Big E, he has no clue where the bean even is, but Kyle Mayer counts beans for a living. Call Kyle at 248-521-0016. Tell him the Detroit Cast sent you, and you'll get 10% off your year-end tax prep fee.
Seeing pictures of the housekeeper accused of kidnapping Dick Simmons.
Dick Simmons kidnapped in his own home.
Teresa, is it Revelis? I think that's her name.
Okay.
Senorita Revelis. The friend, he was accusing, that's the one that's being accused of the whole black magic thing that we first heard about earlier in the week. Anyway, that's...
Yeah, so we have his masseuse claiming that he's being controlled by this maid, which, you've got a live-in maid for 30 years. He's Dick Simmons. You can see how this woman is probably running his life to an extent.
Yeah.
But the masseuse is jumping to the conclusion that it's black magic. He's under a spell.
Well, Mauro Oliveira is the guy we're talking about who's making these accusations, and it forced him to come out and do a couple of these talk shows. I think he did the Today Show and like ET.
Only by phone.
Only by phone, and that has not gone unnoticed by some. She's been with me for 30 years. It's almost like we're a married couple.
That's the thing. You can picture Dick Simmons just being a pathetic little figure, right?
Yeah.
And then you get sort of a domineering motherly figure.
Well,
and he probably loves it.
Yeah.
It's probably very invited. And you said they refer to themselves as sort of an old married couple. Like
that's what he said. I said they're kind of like an old married couple. We're kind of like,
you can totally see that, man.
Yeah. I believe she's doing black magic. Yes, I believe that's what she's doing. He believes something is very wrong when he spoke this week, saying he was under duress. Now he is desperate to see Simmons with his own eyes. He's again leaning on the fact that doing a phoner is not good enough.
She's probably a mess. She could be. He's probably like a Michael Jackson sort of hermit guy.
Which is weird though, if you know anything about Richard
Dick
Simmons. Yeah, like that seems really unlikely or unbelievable. But depression's a tough thing. If he's depressed over his dog dying and his knee replacement, that could be enough to send a sensitive dude like that into a turmoil. Who knows? But he was a super outgoing guy, and I think that's what a lot of people are pointing to.
I doubt that perspective is something Dick Simmons has a real handle on.
Yeah.
The dog dies, like you say, a couple things don't go his way. Who knows what else is involved in terms of substance or whatever. Just total speculation, but you could just see how a guy like that, after traveling so much for 30 years, he's made his millions. You could see him hunkering into this estate
easy life,
and then just having this lady take care of him. Black magic or not,
honestly.
It does sound rather appealing. I could totally go for that.
Gotta just do that first part.
Teresa believes she's going to inherit everything, the house, the money, because his brother Lenny is older than him, and Richard is not a big fan of his sister-in-law. So Teresa believes she's his unofficial wife, and because she's tolerated him for 30 years, she believes that she deserves to inherit everything.
Maybe she should.
She doesn't want any competition around. He's also complained that Simmons didn't sound right during the interview he gave to ET. He didn't sound well. He don't sound right. It was very possible that when we spoke, Teresa or the manager was right next to him, making sure he said the right things. Gun to his head.
Holding the cue cards.
The thing is, if it's true that there's nothing wrong with Richard, then why not show a video of him saying that he's fine, saying goodbye to everybody for a while, and if he's ready to make a comeback, if ever, he will let us know. But just give people peace of mind, or the mystery and speculation will last forever.
Because he probably looks like ass, and isn't he really concerned with how he looks all the time? Like he was really fat to start out, and then he lost all the weight, and that was so inspiring to others.
Yeah,
so he's probably just ballooned up and just feels like shit.
Maybe,
or just
that happens. What are you gonna do?
Right.
He loves his fans, and he told me many times that nobody is more important than his fans, and he will never let his fans down. Now he's completely shut everybody down. There's one lady who's 95. They've known each other for 40 years. She's like a second mother to Richard. And he's totally cut his relationship with her. And please, I'm begging Richard, reach out to her at least.
You know what's funny? To me, honestly, other than like a band or sports people, the idea of like fans, I know he made money and he was popular and probably people, but fans of are there people out there that are just so concerned with Richard Simmons? Like, as a regular person, as like something like a me, like
beyond just a mere curiosity.
Yeah, beyond just I remember having the videos or something. Like, I don't know.
Believe it or not, like we live in a day and age where everybody is looked at as a victim. Everybody, you know, you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, God forbid.
Right.
But back in the 80s, it was like fat people were just like, look at that fatty over there. Like you just rag on a fat guy
Right.
like Jay does now.
What are they going to do about it?
Like back then, it was no big deal to just look at an obese person and just be like, you pig slob, Jesus, take care of yourself.
Get yourself
fatty.
together.
Yeah, what are you doing? You're going to die like that, fatso. Like it was a common
Fatso.
joke on TV. It was in movies. It was just like the fat guy was nothing but a waste of space. And Richard Simmons
Right.
was the hero for that entire
You're right,
group
man.
of people. Like he was the guy that would cry and
Yeah,
hold
and
a
he-
600-pound woman.
Right, he'd
and-
go hug him, and
you
everybody's
okay?
like, you're hugging that.
Ooh,
you
don't
were-
catch it.
I was going to say, are you worried you're going to catch it?
You're right, man. He had this great sympathy for
Yeah.
the fats.
Yes. See?
For the- Jay.
But he did.
No,
And
you're
so
not.
when,
But
when-
now that 2/3 of us are the fats, you know.
yeah.
Fat asses are in. Maybe that's why he's depressed. Fat asses are in, and he made his whole. I don't know.
But when you talk about fans like Subway, I can't imagine who would be a fan of Jared from Subway. The only reason you'd
Right.
be a fan is if you're a little kid and you're like, he's been on my TV tube.
Mhm.
Like
you're
you've
or he's
seen the
making you
face
money.
on screen.
Or he made you feel good. Well,
Come on,
I
come
don't know if
on.
they were fans.
No. It's because they've seen his face, his dumb face on TV.
right.
I don't imagine he has fans, real fans. But Richard Simmons, I could see
Okay.
having absolute real fans, like people that love that guy.
Okay.
I guess I'm sort of with you on that.
But I feel like that about, like
It's
I
probably
said,
a
I kind of,
handful of fat people. You're right, Mike. A handful of fat
if
fans.
they're still alive. But but
How could they be with that blockages?
no, but I just like I said, to me, bands or musicians and maybe sports athletes. Like I feel like those are your
That's
fans
just
of those.
because that's what you're interested.
You're right. That's what
Mhm,
I care
mhm.
about. You're right. I
Totally.
agree. But people like are fans of The Bachelor and they're like, oh, I was a fan of that third contestant. Like you were a fan.
podcast heroes.
Well, again, we fall under entertainers.
Did you see the picture of Richard there?
Oh, that's him on the left, huh? With the blonde wig.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Wow, Dick.
Yeah. They weren't kidding when they said that Richard likes to wear like shoulder-length wigs and bob wigs.
He's eccentric.
Yeah, and lipstick. That's just a weird. I mean, for a 65-year-old guy or 67-year-old guy, whatever he is to be.
Whoa.
Yeah, I can't. I swear to God, I
Doesn't
had to
even
look at that picture and like really see like where is he in
Mhm.
here?
Yeah, it doesn't even look like him. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough.
Not a bad wig.
It's tough.
It's tough. I mean, that whole look is just, yeah, it's a crime. And that's the guy that's accusing the black magic and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
masseuse.
Yeah.
The spurned masseuse.
Before we call down to the nude church, and speaking of sports stars, I don't know how you feel about this, Jay. Mateen Cleaves.
Mateen,
Yeah.
accused of sexual assault.
Yeah, he sure is. Charged with sexually assaulting a 24-year-old woman. Said she was driven to a motel and attacked. Cleaves was arraigned yesterday on 3 counts of criminal sexual conduct. Arrangements had been made for him to turn himself into authorities, according to Kim Worthy. The alleged victim, her boyfriend, and several co-workers met Cleaves back in September at a Flint area charity golf outing. The group later went to a local bar, pounded a bunch of drinks. The woman said after leaving the bar around 1 a.m., her boyfriend gave a friend a ride home. She believes she was returning to the golf club in Cleaves' car, in Mateen's car, but says instead she was taken inside to a motel and then sexually assaulted in one of the rooms. She escaped and was helped by a woman in a nearby room. The evidence in this case will show that the alleged actions of this defendant were not only criminal, but arose out of a sense of entitlement, sometimes found in prominent people, according to Kim Worthy. His attorney says these charges are outrageous and false. They have been catastrophic to Mr. Cleaves' career. Where does he go to get his reputation back? Tom Izzo was just, told reporters, I'm saddened by it. Isn't his kid named Mateen or something?
Yeah, that's right. Is Stephen Mateen.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if you realize this, but Tom Izzo is good friends with Steve Mariucci.
Whoa,
no.
Jay.
I know.
we are on a show right now, so I just want to make sure you're not just throwing things out there. Like
I want to
you're
go too inside.
You're a
on you
broadcast journalist, sir. You need to have some integrity. So I hope you check those sources.
Know that.
Yeah, yeah. They went to college together.
It must be because Jay went to state, so he's got ties
they're both
there.
from Northern Michigan.
Get out of here.
Yes,
Who knew?
I swear to God.
Who knew?
Don't you think we would have heard like that with
I know.
with Mariucci being a Lions coach at one point, and Izzo being a coach? I feel like we heard some stories about
Your
that.
sarcasm is strong today, E. Well
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, you're learning. I'm saddened for him and his family. We look forward to going forward for Mr. Cleaves, who is not only someone who doesn't take advantage of people, but has used his celebrity to help thousands of people in the Flint community over many, many years.
Hope it's not true.
Yeah. I have a feeling this is going to divide the state.
Certain green and blue line.
Yes.
That son of a bitch. I knew it the
What
whole
a
time.
rapist! I knew it.
Piece of shit.
I met him once at a
Go
bar. He
blue.
looked like an asshole.
Yeah, this is gonna. There are gonna be bright lines, but they're gonna be bright green and bright maize. And for the first time ever, when sexual assault is brought up, usually people have very strong opinions, and this is gonna be one of those like, if you went to state, it's gonna be like,
I gotta
There's
let
images of him.
Justice run its course.
Yeah.
Actual videotape. I'm gonna molest you, bitch. It could have been anybody. You can't tell.
yeah, Michigan fans will just totally be
Knew it.
Fuck that guy. Of course. Look
I
where he
knew
went
it.
to
I've known
school.
it for years.
Look where he went to school. Of course, he's a rapist.
Culture on that campus is unreal.
No, there's something still. I know I say it all the time, but there's something that sucks about these cases where even if he's found completely not guilty, this girl, and I'm not saying she isn't. If there was some assault that took place, that's awful, and I feel for her. But if it's not, and we've seen tons of cases where people are absolutely full of shit. The Oregon Ducks basketball players that were kicked out of the school, kicked off the team, careers thrown away. They're suing the school now for $10 million each because it was total bullshit, and the school overreacted and suspended or kicked them off the team and all this shit. So these things happen, and celebrities are definitely targets, easier targets and marks for these kinds of things. And so it sucks that they don't identify the victim, and you can understand why they don't do that, but they do identify Mateen Cleaves, and
He'll be ruined, man.
From this day forward, if it didn't happen, now if it did, that's a different story. But if it didn't happen, you've essentially trashed his whole career, which sucks.
The only way it doesn't happen that way is like the Duke lacrosse, where the accuser comes forward and goes, yeah, I just completely lied.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there will always be a haze around it. And even if
I think even if that happens, we still think of Duke. Like when you think of Duke lacrosse, what do you think of?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. There's still a smart ass part of me that goes, oh, you mean the rapist lacrosse team? Sure, go ahead. What you were saying? I mean, I know that it's a joke, but why would you want? Why would you want? That's one of the worst things you can have your name tied to is a rape allegation. Like that's just something you can't really live down. People have that burned into the back of their head. Like,
well, I think like you said with them, and the chick comes out like you said and says it was like. I think there's some people that like Mike when he talks about watching the news and they just watch the scroll. There's some people that probably to this day never even heard the part.
Never heard the follow up part.
Right,
of that
they
story.
probably just heard that it happened and assumed it kept happening.
Yeah, that's why prosecutors have a great responsibility. And in that case, the guy plowed forward without evidence, but you hope somebody like Kim Worthy really vetted the evidence and really vetted the witness before bringing this.
Yeah,
and it's transferred down to her, interestingly, because there's a conflict of interest up in Genesee.
Yes,
I bet he couldn't have been too happy about that.
Yeah,
shit, Kim Worthy's on my ass.
Yeah, you'd rather be in your hometown.
Probably.
In Flint. Yeah. Well, we'll follow it, see where it goes. And the other story today, Adam LaRoche, Chicago White Sox player. He's retired from the White Sox. Well,
what a douche.
He's said he's retired, and he's given them the paperwork that he signed off, and they haven't turned the paperwork in yet to make it official. They want to give him a couple days, but he said he's gonna retire from the game, and he was set to make $13 million this year. After he was asked to limit the amount of time his son spent in the clubhouse,
and that made him angry.
And that was it. Oh, you don't want my Brad here in the clubhouse?
His kid was there every day last year,
dude. Kenny Williams asked LaRoche not to bring his 14-year-old son Drake into the clubhouse on an everyday basis, which he's reportedly done during all of last year. Drake is very welcome, just as all of our players' kids are and always have been, really, Williams said to a local NBC affiliate in Chicago. I mean, our policy is not changing. The thing I asked for in this particular situation was for it to be not on an everyday thing and dial it back. He was concerned that this could become something that can get out of hand. We didn't realize the level at which it was taking place, whether it be on buses, planes, and in the clubhouse and on the field in different places. That really kind of crystallized some things for us. He added, LaRoche's son is loved by everyone around here, but declined to say whether or not any of the players had complained about this. Of course, right? Unfortunately, this turned into a thing, and it didn't have to be a thing, but now we need to address it. So you've put them on the. What he did was he announced his retirement and then hashtagged it family first.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And so it draws attention to this thing, and so now you're getting people on both sides like, why would you hate his family? As if that's the problem. He had talked about this to the Washington Post back in 2013. LaRoche did, about having his son with him all the time. It's like having your son and your best friend alongside you all day long at work, which never gets to happen. I don't know many jobs where you can bring your kid and not have to put him in daycare somewhere. It's been awesome.
Your coworkers have to deal with that shit.
That is so utterly obnoxious.
Yeah.
And Kenny Williams is 100% right. Like, where does it stop? Like, do we want to turn this into a daycare center? I mean, and the fact is he had a shit year last year. Could you point to that and go, dude, maybe if your
kid wasn't hanging out every day and you're just dicking around with your kid. Yeah. How can you be so tone deaf to what your teammates think too?
Yeah.
Because, okay, fine. He's there on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm sure other kids are too. But what if I brought sweet pie in here every day?
Dude, it'd be awesome, but it would
for a week.
It would be
like, okay.
How could it not be a distraction? Yeah. And that's not against sweet pie. It'd be against any kid. Kids demand attention. They just do. They need your help. They need attention, and it takes the focus off whatever you're doing. It's like having the poos running around here,
right?
Which is okay. It's just amazing to me that anyone, like, where did that start? You see it with these players bringing their brats up to the podium while they're giving interviews, which is annoying as shit. I don't find it adorable or cute ever. It's like, dude, be a pro here. You don't need to bring your fucking kid up to the podium while these reporters are trying to ask you questions about the game.
The crap I remember starting, at least in my mind, was like all-star weekends and stuff. You started seeing players' kids out with them, at the home run derby, dressed in the jersey.
Totally. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Super Bowl, press week for the Super Bowl. You'd start seeing that. World Series.
Yeah. That's Steph Curry's kid last year was the big splash, right?
Yeah.
She was so cute.
And then he
just put her on the microphone and she'd be like, yeah.
Can we go soon?
Daddy, go home. They'd be like,
hilarious, adorable,
so cute.
Not cute, annoying. It's annoying to the people in that room. But then that all of a sudden gets played on the daytime shows and everything else, and all of a sudden women are involved, and so you can see where people would be interested.
Oh, what a great father! Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to me. Like, think about your job. How irritating that would be to have your fucking kid there with you all day.
Yeah.
Every day. Every day.
Take a kid to work day every day.
Every day. No, thank you. He's not your best friend. He's a 12-year-old boy. Stop it, LaRoche. It's time for you to retire. Bye-bye.
No, it's time for you to stay one more year and make 13 mil. Come on, man. Don't be stupid about this.
Yeah, but he can't leave his kid.
Leave your kid for one more year. 13 million.
Yeah. You're only working 6 months of the year.
Yeah.
Hang out with your kid all
day.
They're
not going to the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, right. Anyway, should we you guys ready to go to church?
Let's call this guy.
We got the Whitetail Chapel. Look at that.
A quaint little chapel.
It is.
Look at the steeple. Little tiny steeple.
That little chap.
Yeah.
The church is located at the Whitetail Resort in Ever, Virginia, and focuses on, Pastor Alan Parker is who we're looking for. He runs this church, and they worship in the nude.
Do services in the nude.
Yeah.
Him standing up there. Everybody sitting in the pews nude.
They're coming to people are more open as far as hearing the word of God and speaking the word of God. He explained nudity is the great equalizer.
Okay.
So I don't know. Let's call down to Virginia, see if we can get him on the phone.
Hello, this is Alan.
Hey, Pastor Allen.
Yeah.
Hey there, it's Mike and Jay calling from the Detroit Cast. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, Pastor.
Doing fine. How are you?
Good. You got a couple minutes to talk about the we're reading a story about you in the paper. Wanted to get your comment on it.
Okay.
The Whitetail Chapel. So how long have you been pastoring at the Whitetail Chapel?
About 10 years.
Nice.
10 years.
And have you done so in the nude all 10 years?
Yeah.
And what caused you to do your first what I'm just trying to picture, there you are, you're ready to give your first sermon, you're ready to start your first service. And what causes you to decide, you know what, I'm going to do this nude. This is going to be a little different, but I'm going to do it nude.
Well, it wasn't a little different. You got to remember the chapel is inside a nudist resort. It's a common occurrence there.
Yeah, but still, isn't church a little bit, I don't know, out of bounds for the whole nude thing?
No, of course not. When you're born, when God makes you, when God places you in the womb, when God brings you into the world, what you wearing?
My birthday suit.
Yeah.
But then almost immediately we put clothes on and we just know, like, okay, we're supposed to be clothed from then on.
You get cold.
It's still not necessarily. I mean, nudism is not for everyone. You know, being an atheist is not something that everyone strives for, everyone wants to be. But there are people who nudity is the choice, is the most comfortable, most casual fit. And from that, you know, you have a world that has a community that has if we have a community, shouldn't there be a church?
My whole thing is it's really, and maybe this is just me unable to understand the whole nudist thing, but how is it not sexualized? You know, and the last thing you want to do, at least in my thinking, is be in church sexualizing anything.
It's not sexual at all.
But you got your nuts hanging there.
You've got them whether you're dressed or not dressed.
Yeah, I know. Like for me, I could go to church anywhere. I might be interested in going to your church just to like scope out chicks. I mean, knowing that they're all nude in there. I mean, that's just a guy thinking. You know, would I be welcomed in there?
Everybody's welcome, but
okay,
you're going to find yourself not in a sexual situation at all.
What?
It's not the same as looking at porn on the internet.
Do you ever have an accident in there where someone gets turned on? I would think that's a natural occurrence.
Good question, Mike.
Not in 10 years.
Because that would happen to me if I came into the church and there was like a cute girl sitting there nude. I got to be totally honest with you, Pastor. That might happen to me.
Yeah, how would you handle that?
It wouldn't be an unusual problem because it's not going to happen.
Well, it hasn't happened in 10 years. It would be unusual.
Well, if you had any idea that exactly how asexual a nudist resort is, and I'm not to say there aren't beautiful women walking around. I'm saying that there's people of every body style, every community, every color, every race, every creed. It's a great melting pot. And it doesn't lend itself well to sexual behavior.
I would fear that like if I sat down in there and you started, you know, and on the seventh day God created, you know, I'd be like, wow, my pastor's balls are out. Like that would be going through my head the whole time. Now I'm not in the community, so I'll give you that. Like maybe it's old news to everybody in the community, like seeing your bag. But to me, that as a newbie, that'd be weird, you know?
It would take you. We tell people it takes about 5 minutes to get used to the nudist community.
Oh man,
might
take me longer.
Well, to be honest with you, you just forget you're naked most of the time.
I don't know. I just picture you up there
you're standing at a nudist resort.
You're standing up there by the pulpit preaching from 2 Corinthians with your 2 balls hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I could do it.
It's less about what you're wearing and more about actually looking at people for people, not as some kind of body.
Yeah.
Or
And then you introduce alcohol to the mix, all the wine and everything. It's just
Oh yeah, it's
recipe
a party
for-
waiting to happen. Music, alcohol.
It just doesn't happen.
Do you worry about the children at all? I know it's a family church, and you bring children in there, and there's some dude standing. Is that ever a concern?
No.
No.
And here's the problem, Pastor. It's just there's creepers everywhere,
Yeah.
and they may not let themselves known, but man, this just seems like a recipe for disaster to me. You got kids in there, you got adults just splaying everything, and this is you got the whole backdrop of the Catholic Church thing that happened. I didn't want to go there, but
Yeah.
it just, boy, it paints a picture.
Oh, you're talking about like the accusations with the priests and all that from Boston, really?
yeah.
You went there.
Whole
Okay.
spotlight thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's tough.
It just doesn't happen. For one thing, we're sitting in the middle of a nudist resort.
Right.
Everyone that comes to this resort has background checks run on them. We know who's there. We've known these people for years.
Yeah.
It's a small community. Our church has about 60 members. We have an average attendance of about 20 each Sunday.
Yeah.
We have a rotation of people that come through. We just know everybody. It's not
What about like I remember in adolescence, especially, you'd be sitting in like 7th grade, and all of a sudden anything could happen, and there you're just
Wind blows. Wind blows.
Just rock at your desk, and it's like everything you can do to keep it hidden under your desk or under your sweatshirt.
You just need to rub on something.
Yeah. What do you do if you got you're looking across this gallery of folks in your fine church there, and there's a group of 12-year-olds, and it's like, oh boy, anything could happen now.
It never is a problem.
So that
never a problem.
Wow, that's amazing, really. When you think about it, especially being around seeing other nude bodies, I would think I know that what it would have done to me at that age. That's really cool.
Mike, you're not alone on this. I'm with you.
But you didn't grow up in a nudist community.
I'm
You didn't
telling
grow
you,
up knowing that
been like a
nudity was
kid
normal.
in a candy shop.
Yeah, that would have been tough for
It
me.
would have just exacerbated the masturbation. Those two words.
Yeah, that's tough to say together.
Exacerbated the masturbation.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, most of the children at our church have grown up in this community. They've been around it since they were young. It's just not something that happens.
Well, if you had to pick a couple of the hottest parishioners, who would you? Yeah, if you had to. I mean, you've seen everything, right?
You can't say all, Pastor. You can't say all of them. You can't. No.
You have to understand that each person has their own personality. Each person has their own world. Each person has all these good things built up inside of them.
Yeah, but aside from that, like obviously everybody's beautiful on the inside and all that shit. But but what about like outer beauty too? That exists.
Got to be one or two.
There's got to be a couple where it's like, oof, man,
glad I'm at a nudist colony.
Can't believe she showed up. Whoa, this is going to be hard. Better stay behind this pulpit.
Think of it this way: some people like carrots, some people like squash, some people like chocolate.
Titties. Yep.
And, so there are different, everybody has their own favorites, but everybody's beautiful to somebody. Everybody's beautiful to more than one somebody.
Yeah, but we're asking you, Pastor.
Yeah, what do you find attractive? There's got to be at least one in there. That's the boring answer. Come on, Pastor. You can do better than that.
Now, my wife is the hottest thing that ever happened to me. I've been married for 31 years. And I couldn't ask for a better woman. And to me, she's just the world.
How old is she? What does she look like?
She's 53. She's 4'11".
4'11".
Yeah.
Just a little thing.
Better hip to waist ratio.
Yeah, well,
It's all right.
But that's what makes my world. So, I mean, to everybody else, that may not be the person they chose.
So what else goes on at the nudist colony? Do you guys have other events that you get up for?
Well, at the resort, there's water volleyball, there's horseshoes,
so hard,
there's
yeah,
there's sand volleyball, there's hot tubs, there's saunas, bocce court.
Is there alcohol ever?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, come on, Pastor. You're not going to tell me that you're going to do beach volleyball, hot tubbing, nude with alcohol with chicks, and there's nothing going on ever?
Oh, I'm sure there's things going on in people's houses.
Just not in your chapel, not in the Whitetail Chapel. By the way, is that a play on words?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Here's the way that came up. It's in Whitetail Resort in Ivor, Virginia, and when Bob, the owner of the park, came out to look at the property originally when he was purchasing the property to build the resort, there were white-tailed deer all over the field. There was a soybean field there, and he thought, "Hey, whitetail," and absolutely, it's a play on words.
Like it.
Oh, it is a play on words. Okay, you admit that. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if I came down there in my clothes, would you guys make me be nude to go to service? Or could I just come in and take it all in and just sit in the back and, do my own thing?
Yeah, the park is a nudist resort. It does require nudity in hot tubs and those places. There are certain places that, you can come and the chapel is one of them. We regularly have people who, for whatever reason, weather, sunburn, whatever, have shirts or clothes on.
You've had people burn their dongs out there?
Well, I'm sure there have been. I've never noticed it, but I'm sure there have been.
Yeah. So if I came out there and could I get close? Like if I came down in boxers and a tank top or something and some sunglasses, I could sit in the back and mind my own business. Eyes forward, keep everybody nothing to see here. That'd be cool.
Pretty much. We'd like you to come down and join the service with us. Join in, sing along.
Yeah.
You got to make this available online, man. I bet you'd have a big.
I'd watch. Yeah, can you stream it online and I can watch?
We do not allow cameras in the service.
Why not? God made you nude, though. They should be proud of that.
Yes, but the service is for the people that are there. I mean, we do occasionally allow interviews, but very rarely do we do any filming at all in the chapel.
I would think you'd want to expand your congregation. Reach someone like me. I'm a lost soul, sir.
He is. Definitely.
I need you, Pastor.
I would love to have you come down.
But I'm not in Virginia. If you're going to reach me, you're going to do it through the web. Just keep a rotating camera. They don't even have to focus the camera on you. They can just pan the audience, the congregation. I'm there.
He needs a correspondence program. He can't. He can't really leave his house, and he is a lost soul for sure.
Yeah, I suffer from POTS syndrome, self-diagnosed, of course, but it's brutal.
The devil has him.
Well,
yeah. As he said, the devil's got a hold of me, sir. I need your help, Pastor.
Come on. We'll give you some information on churches available in your area. We'll be happy to do that.
Thanks a lot, Pastor.
All right,
Appreciate
Pastor.
your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Have
Bye.
a good day.
Take care. Bye.
God bless. Yeah, boy.
Why does he need to be nude? Okay, so
you can't get over the nude thing.
No,
everything they do is nude.
I know, but there's I don't know, something sacred about church. You don't go to church nude.
This is the first time in 20 years I've been interested in church, Jay. Don't take this from me.
Here's the
However
thing,
they got to get me in the doors.
It's like I said, I guess I just don't get the nudist thing. To me, it's all sexualized. You get nude, there's something sexual going on, right? And so there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
So if you're total nude, nothing sexual about that. We're just walking around nude. Okay, I guess you can do your church service too. But to me, man, I couldn't help but look around and wonder. And
it seems like unnecessary nude is what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you and I and Derek go to the sauna and guys are nude in the locker room, you're like, whatever, dude. It's not sexual.
But there's even unnecessary nude there. You ought to have a towel until you have to be nude.
I agree, but you wouldn't walk in there and go, "Oh yeah, a bunch of nude dudes. This is hot. This is getting hot in here." You know what I mean? Like you understand it, but the idea of leaving your house and better take my clothes off so I can get into church here.
No, that goes to the whole crux of the nudist. I just don't get it. I don't get how there's just this great comfort in being nude. No, you're a perv at bottom. You are. There's something going on.
The white tail he's playing off the hole, which, it's a weird concept, no doubt about it, but it's working for some.
Interesting calling Pastor Allen has.
Yeah, we just don't have faith. Like I believe that women are not sexualized they're not feeling sexual about things, but you cannot tell me that a guy, they're just different.
Exactly.
We're wired differently. Guys look at chicks, they can't help it.
Great point. The chicks just aren't visual like that. Not all of them.
Yeah.
So I could see a group of women sitting there and truly, yes, I'm just a nudist and I'm in church and I'm just enjoying the service. I don't care who you are, what guy you are, you're in there. You're like, holy shit, look at those titties.
On that
Well, not
one.
only are guys wired differently, as you say, but again, it comes back to even just getting sex. For most, just getting to see a naked chick, just getting to have sex for guys, the women hold that key. So they can kind of be naked all they want, knowing that they can. But guys, dude, you sitting there naked and you see a naked chick, it's like that's
different
harder
game,
for
man.
guys to find that.
I remember in church when I was little, like there was a lot of handshaking and hugging at the end of service.
Yeah, have you,
Like,
the part where you meet each other?
You're telling me, yeah, you're telling me at the end of service that I'm not going to seek out the one, 19-year-old smoking hottie that just happened to be dragged there by her dumb family, and I'm not going
you to have a great
the Lord.
day.
and I'm not going to get just rock hard.
Right.
You're
minute
gonna be
skin
hugging
to
her. Your
skin
penis
happens.
gonna be right by her vagina.
Oh, dude, it's that's a tease. Like I'm gonna hug her, and I'll try to be respectful, so I won't grab her ass, but I'll hug her, and I mean, the second like helmet touches pubes as we have our embrace, it's over. It's over. I'm just saying.
The game's over, or you're gonna have a hard on.
Oh, well, it's just rock. Yeah, there's no denying.
I thought you were maybe suggesting that you were done. At
Yeah,
that
what are
point.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe that any guy's in there without taking a look-see here and there. And that's
Yeah.
just so contrary to the whole church thing to me.
What do they
That's
do?
supposed to be in church lusting over people.
Yeah, I would be. I know I would be. Or disgusted at some people.
I already do it,
is what
even
is.
when they're not in the nude. Sorry.
Are you scoping chicks at church, E? You are, aren't you?
I'm just trying to find us.
God's
A
up there
young
just
lady.
smacking his forehead going, oh, for Christ's sakes,
Oh,
he is
for
hard
Christ's
again. Have you been hard in church before?
No,
Never?
I'm not saying
Never.
that. I'm not saying that, dude. But even
He's
in a
been hard in
non-sexualized
church.
virgin, you're still looking around.
He's scoping ass at church.
He's looking for a suitable mate.
Yeah, Mike, I'm just trying to find a young lady who's
Nice young lady.
equally into the Lord as I am, and
Right.
but's also attractive, of course,
Yeah, gotta have a certain look to her.
for the Lord.
Into EDM.
Well, it's cool of Pastor Alan Parker to take a few minutes to explain all this to
Yeah.
us. Certainly appreciate that. And if you want to head down, it's in Virginia. It's the Whitetail Chapel. Wink, wink.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra from Zott Ford and Holly, the only dealership offering 2 for $252. Right now at Zott Ford, you get 2 brand new 16 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Cabs for just $252 with $1,000 due. That's 2 trucks for just 1 payment of $252. I'll say it again, lease 2 F-150s for just 1 payment of $252 per month. Hurry to Zott Ford and Holly, home of the 2 for $252, because leasing 2 trucks for the price of 1 can't last long.
Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, well, welcome back to the Detroitcast. Mike and Jay.
Can we send E to the nude church?
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. E, would you go would you go down to Ivor, Virginia?
Yes, I would.
The Whitetail Chapel?
I certainly would. Drive.
Would you get nude? I mean,
Sure.
you'd have to go to the service.
Sure.
You'd be checking chicks out for sure.
Yeah, you would. Would you play some volleyball?
You know
Maybe do a
what?
little hot tubbing and some drinking?
Of course, I'd be checking people out. But from the news clips that I saw, I don't think there'd be much to speak of necessarily.
It's how it always is, right?
Of
Those
course.
nudist
But
beaches and shit.
right, dude, is it just what I don't? That is for real. What I don't get about it.
I don't know. I don't want to rehash it.
Right,
though.
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
We just talked about this.
That's fine. You're right, though. That is how it always is. So, but yeah,
you can't leave there without playing some bocce. If you go, you've got to play some nude bocce.
I love me some bocce anyway.
How about we send you down there for Easter service?
No. I'm not going down there for Easter.
Why? It'd be great. Probably
Because
a lot of people there.
I'm not. Times are troublous enough at home.
Oof.
Troublous enough. All right.
You navigated that one carefully and well.
Turbulent. I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Troublous?
Yeah.
Enough at home without me missing Easter with the family to be at a nude resort.
Some turbulence at home. Is that what you were going for?
No, troublous. I'm a troublous.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with it.
What's that? Troublous.
So, wait, what
How
is
could you hear
making
that
it
word and not know
troublous?
what I mean?
I guess we knew what you meant. So yeah.
I guess you're gonna have to explain the troublous though.
Well, I mean, the fact of, me being at home, stuff I talk about on the show on a regular basis is not usually received very well at the manor.
Hi, Mrs. Fady, by the way.
Yeah.
But,
Good morning, ma'am.
But
One of our biggest listeners.
I'm fine
You've
with
raised an unbelievable son. I mean, just
I'm fine with going, but I'm not going on Easter Sunday. I'm sorry.
All right, not gonna.
That's not. Don't turn it into a not gonna.
Well, I asked if you go on Easter Sunday,
Okay,
and you
yes.
said not gonna.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
said I'll
That's
go
all
on
I said.
any other Sunday.
Okay. Well, I think we should definitely make that happen.
throw him in a rental car and get him on the open road.
Right.
Hell yeah.
I can go down Saturday afternoon or
Just throw in
whatever.
some Pat Green and go.
Oh yeah, dude. On that trip, they're definitely. I mean, the music would vary based on where you're headed, and heading down through the West Virginia area, it would definitely lean towards country. So yes.
Can I get a little look at our Appalachian area there, E?
Oh, you certainly can.
As you head through.
Should I make mark our
the
point
trail?
of where
The trail where Jay's gonna murder E.
Yeah, I'll make sure if
where
I'm
it's gonna
driving,
happen.
I'll make sure to stop along the way.
Some trail markers.
Dude, apparently, by the way, when I was up at Boyne last weekend, for that thing, apparently there was a trail that starts in Petoskey and goes all the way to, where did he say now? Nebraska, I think. And it's like right in that area. And we were at the beginning of it. And even that one, I started thinking like, man, how awesome would that be? You're sitting on this little dirt path. And just to think that you could just start walking.
Don't know what's in front of me.
Right. Exactly.
But we'll find
One
out.
foot in front of the other.
Exactly, dude. Like, God, if this were
Oh, that sounds horrible.
if this were to fall apart,
I'd get from Petoskey to the end of the block in Petoskey.
Yeah, if this were to fall apart, dude, before I started searching out a next career path, I think I would absolutely then just take that as the time to do one of these. Maybe not maybe not as long as the Appalachian, but maybe something that was only like 2 months. I'd want it to be at least a month to 2 months, though. I would not want just some week-long hike.
Don't want some willy-nilly hike.
No, I don't want some week-long hike. I want something that would last at least 1 to 2 months. More towards 2 than 1.
I'd do it too, E. If somehow I had a free 2 months, I would definitely do it.
I understand, dude. That's why I said, like, if I got terminated from this, I mean, dude, there's nothing. I can quit Zot. I can quit a minimum wage job and find another. No offense to our Steve Gabaro, but I could find another job that pays me $8.25 an hour.
Speaking of that, spring is almost here, which means soon April showers will bring May flowers. So let's start celebrating spring a little early at Zot Ford and Holly, where right now you can lease a new 15 Ford Edge for just $199 per month with only $1,000 out of pocket. You heard right, $199 for the all-new 15 Ford Edge while supplies last from our friends at I-75 and Exit 98. See their blasphemous deals and massive inventory at ZotFord.com.
We should mention probably well, it'll be our last chance to mention the tournament. The NAACP basketball tournament is underway in Michigan. Congratulations to Michigan for winning their way into the tournament last night.
Right. I really do, for real. I love the people that like thought they were in. Like, the first four does not count. I'm glad they made it. You know, I'd rather have that than the NIT. But if they didn't win last night, I was not among the people that would consider them like, oh, well, they made the tournament this year.
Yeah.
But they did, so whatever.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, these play-ins.
I know, and now they're really turned it into, I was saying, now they've really turned it into something where it's like completely commercialized, where there was a logo on the court, which is funny because they're going
the first four.
First in, but dude, it's everyone knows it's the last four, by the way. I don't care what you want to say. These are the last four in, not the first four.
You're fighting for a chance to get in.
Right.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Hey, they did their part. They won 68-62 or something.
So now they have Notre Dame on Friday night.
Night. So probably a loss, but nonetheless.
You never know.
Got to play the games, right?
Well, we've got a bracket set up through CBS Sports, I believe it is.
Yeah, and you get it. Go to DetroitCast.com. Under the Interact tab, you'll see our message board link, and they're front and center on the message board. You will find it.
Yeah, click on it. Just register. It doesn't cost any money. It's got the password there, which is The Crown Has Spoken, and you can sign up. We're all going to play in it.
And if you win, we will celebrate you publicly and loudly.
You'll have bragging rights for a year.
We'll demean every single person who lost.
Yeah.
By name.
No. Yeah, it's more bragging rights. I think CBS does offer prizes if you were to get, like, if you had some killer bracket or something.
I'm not sure how it works in the private group, though. I think you have to enter the
national one. Okay,
I think, but I'm speaking.
Bragging rights is worth more than any sort of payout you could get anyways.
Oh, so yeah, definitely.
Bragging rights are huge. Who needs $1 million when you could just like talk shit for a year? So
you know,
I guessed right.
Right.
Dude, I literally went down and was just like, I like that school looks pretty. This one looks kind of nice.
I haven't done one.
I like the way that name sounds.
Sweet Pie has Buffalo in the Final Four.
Dude,
that's going to be a great pick if it happens.
What is Buffalo ranked? I mean, is Buffalo like a 16?
I haven't even looked at the bracket. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, good luck to her. Is she in ours, or is she in one at like around the neighborhood?
We do a family one where if you win, you get dinner of your choice.
Oh, it doesn't sound like Sweet Pie is going to be picking dinner. No offense, Sweet Pie. I'd rather have her.
But
win.
if Buffalo advances,
I can only imagine.
Are we even sure Buffalo's in it?
I know.
I don't know.
She told me she has Buffalo.
Okay.
What would the restaurant destination be? Would it be Charles
E. Cheese?
No, we wouldn't go out. It's just what we cook you.
Oh, okay.
So she'd probably want pizza.
Okay, it's not bad.
Grilled
so would you order pizza, or would you make?
It'd be up to her. She likes the homemade pizza, but she might opt for Jets or something. Be up to her.
All right. That's a good prize.
Yeah.
Well, what does the king get if he wins? I mean, you could hypothetically make your own dinner any day.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, it's more for the kids.
Yeah, Russell won last year. He got mussels.
Russell's mussels.
Steamed mussels.
Gross. What's the matter with that kid?
What is a 12-year-old or whatever?
12-year-old should not want mussels.
He loves them. I came home the other day and he was steaming mussels.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Don't they just slide, right?
No. Those are oysters, raw oysters. No, these are cooked, and you can kind of dig them out with a little fork. And
those look so gross.
They do look gross, but they're not bad. Buttermilk.
12-year-old should not be eating mussels. Russell's mussels. I don't like it.
That'd be a good. Oh, that's. Having said that, that'd be.
I could open a restaurant. Russell's mussels.
He offered me seaweed yesterday.
He
opened this thing.
He's a chef.
He opened this thing.
Chef.
He's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "What is that?" It looked like tin foil, like a little strip of tin foil in this package. I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Mom got me seaweed." Like, you're good.
Yeah.
Could you?
It's on you, my man.
Are there enough variations of mussels that you could make a Russell's mussels that you could have like, this is my
just do a little stand outside.
This is my grilled, or this is my Mexican style mussels.
Well, that could be the primary dish, but he could have other dishes. Yeah, Russell's mussels.
I gotta be honest. I should probably patent that myself and make him pay for the rights when he.
Yeah, I could see a Twitter handle, Russell's Mussels.
I mean, I can see the name on the outside.
We could get him a
store.
food cart. He could hang out in front of snobby areas and
food cart. Yeah, that's a good
idea.
Russell's
Those are
mussels.
huge right now. Maybe a truck eventually. Yeah. It could be a cart now, truck eventually.
SeaWorld with a big announcement today.
Yes.
Killer whales.
They're killing them,
They're
or
done.
Now, this will be the last generation of them, though.
wow.
That are enclosed at the water
Because
parks.
these ones are so effed up, they can't let them go.
No, you
They'll
can't.
swim in circles in like a small little acre circle. That's it.
Yeah.
Will they start jumping up?
Right. Performing all these things.
There's nobody there.
All these other wild orcas be like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
What do you do? Why you do that? Why?
It might be a good defense in this. The only good defense about that might be is they think they're crazy, I suppose. But
They'd be like the homeless version of whales, just out begging for food.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
You're right.
Like doing a little tap dance on the
Yeah.
street corner, begging for
Do that
fish.
thing where their fin just pushes them up above the water, and then they'd be like,
why am I not getting fed now?
Yeah. The other orcas are like, dude,
go
there's
find
food
a
everywhere.
seal.
Just like,
eat a seal.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do. What are you doing with that ball on your nose? Like, seriously, stop it. SeaWorld has been listening, and we're changing. This, according to a.
They've been listening for the last 30 years as people have protested.
Yeah.
I know.
I was just gonna say that, like, dude, people have been bitching about this with SeaWorld since our whole life. I remember people when we were kids bitching
Yeah.
about this. SeaWorld is that society is changing, and we're changing with it.
Slow down.
SeaWorld is finding new ways to continue to deliver on our purpose to inspire all our guests to take action to protect wild animals and wild places. They point back to the documentary Blackfish as the real turning point. It's like, really? Did people's eyes get opened up to the fact that you imprison these killer whales in 2013 with the Blackfish
Right.
documentary? Stop it. That profiled Tilikum was the killer whale there. That he's a serial killer.
He's
I mean,
the one who
he's-
killed the handler.
He's got blood on his hands for 3 murders.
His fins.
Yeah, blood on his fins for sure. Yeah, my mom's friend, who was the focus of that documentary, Dawn Brancho, in 2010, who was dragged underwater, I believe.
By the ponytail, right?
Yeah,
How well did your mom know this person?
she knew her really well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this a relief for her then? Finally getting some justice?
Who? My mom?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Let's call your mom. Let's find
She
out.
doesn't even like me talking about it. She's
Oh.
like, they're friends
Would she
of mine.
prefer we talk about her dime-sized nipples?
Yeah.
Because we can.
Or Bob swooping in on his love swing. Yeah, we could do that. Bob
Here comes another accidental
Bob
bomb.
climbs up the ladder in the corner. And he gets on that love swing, and the pulley system just takes him down. He just swoops
See,
in. Your mom just lays there and boom.
I figured it'd be more.
Is he wearing one of those
Bob
masks with
enters.
the metal zippers on the
No,
mouth?
I think he's wearing the bomber
Damn it.
jackets from like his old days. Little lingo. We're coming in for a landing. Am I clear?
Recently, reports surfaced that Tilikum may be dying. He's 35 years old. now.
How old is that in whale years? Are they
It's
comparable?
35 years in whale
Are
years.
they comparable?
I'm not sure. Customers visit our marine parks in part to watch orcas, but a growing number of people don't think orcas belong in human care. This makes it sound like this is breaking news to them.
Yeah.
What? There's outrage? What's going on here? It will also introduce new natural orca encounters instead of the old theatrical shows. So,
I like SeaWorld, dude. I went there a few years ago in Orlando.
yeah,
It was great. Couple good roller coasters.
yeah.
It's a good park. Some good shows. I would have to say the orca one was probably the least impressive.
Uh-oh.
They had some cool like porpoise and
Mhm.
birds and shit. I mean, yeah, they had a lot going on.
Yeah. Can you like swim with dolphins there?
No, I don't
Not
think
at
so.
SeaWorld? I imagine in like 50 years you'll look back and this will be one of those things where it's like, can you believe they used to do this?
Yeah.
Like zoos and circuses, and I don't know, zoos are maybe different,
Well,
but
didn't Barnum Bailey just say they're not going to use the elephants?
that sounds right.
You know what I think this is? Ultimately, it's them going, dang, dude, it's a pain in the ass to tow around a bunch of elephants and to house these big orcas and shit.
Yeah.
It'd just be easier to give in and be done with them and deal with smaller animals that we can enslave.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
nobody's
But
really
those-
going to bitch if we enslave a bunch of birds and porpoise and shit like
But
that.
who doesn't want to see a giant elephant squeezed in all fours onto a little shelf and stand there?
I know. I love that part.
You know what I mean?
And then
Like
turn around. Do like the little tiptoe around, turns around.
giant hands.
awesome.
It is. Like, I mean, you go there for that. It's like, yeah, anybody can see a monkey riding a dirt bike online, but you know, to see the massive whale and seeing them shit on the floor in person and
What about the splash zone? The splash zone.
you do like the splash zone.
Yeah,
don't
you would have ran down to the splash zone, wouldn't you? E?
I didn't go that often, but for some reason I always remember that we weren't like, we didn't
10-year-old
get there early enough, and I was pissed.
bitching at your dad.
Why do they only do that certain times? They have certain.
Well,
is it
well,
like
you
You
have
have to
to
get
go-
in and get in the section.
Right, you have to get early.
It's filled up.
The splash
They
zone
can only
fills
splash
up, man.
so far.
Yeah.
God, I can't remember
And
the
you weren't
last time I was at
guaranteed,
one of those
by the way.
places.
You weren't guaranteed. You just had to get into the section and hope.
Do your kids still like? Would that be something Sweet Pie would be like? Can we go to SeaWorld?
I don't. She's never those words have never crossed her lips, but
yeah.
I don't know. I guess if we were down there and said, "Hey, Sweet Pie, we're gonna go to SeaWorld," she'd be excited. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, that's I guess good news. SeaWorld's going to stop. I mean,
Good news for the orcas, bad news for people in the splash zone.
Yeah. Yeah. As you mentioned, though, it's not something where you can release these guys back to the wild. So they got to wait for them to like put them in an old folks' home. Of
That's
some sort.
telling. It's like, yeah, these things are so mentally screwed up. We're gonna keep this generation.
I wonder how
see
long
it
they'll
through.
continue to do like the tricks. And once they're too old for the tricks, what are they going to do? They'll just close it down.
They say those things are so smart that they won't do tricks unless there's food. Like they know, like in order to get food, if I just like say, no, fuck you, I'm not standing on my hind tail. Forget it. You know, I'm not doing it. And so they're like, God damn it, we got to feed this son of a bitch or he won't play ball with us.
But I just wondered, like, what are they going to do when they can't do the tricks? That period between the tricks are over and death.
When
Like,
they're elderly.
Right. What is SeaWorld going to, are they going to shut it down then?
They
Yeah, they'll
have
chuck 'em
giant
back in.
walkers with tennis balls on the bottom of them. I don't know if you've seen those. And they just kind of like stroll around the bottom of the pool. It's really weird. It's uncomfortable to see, but yeah, I don't know what they do. What do you do with an old person?
They're
What
gonna
do you
keep
do with
them
an
in their
old
little
whale?
retention
Right.
tank.
They'll die and then they'll just take care of the place.
Poor guys.
Well, whatever.
I like whales who didn't get caught in the wild. We got a video that's gone viral. Of course it has, because nobody can have a nice moment without filming it to share with the world to show how great they are. But it's actually kind of a cool story. We got this girl that asked this guy to prom, one of those promposals as they call
Promposal,
them.
yeah.
Ugh. Is it prom season firing up? I mean, it seems like a couple
Yeah,
months
I
early.
reckon. Man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
this
May, June, right?
this kid's kind of a big E. He's kind of a tard.
Mm.
And Brianna Nave, who attends Lawrence North High School in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Filmed in portrait.
Yeah. Posted she posted to her Facebook a video of her asking this guy Dell to attend the event with her. And he's a big Star Wars fan. So she had like a cake made for him with lightsabers.
Wow.
Some pretty impressive display of Mylar.
Okay.
With different Star Wars characters on them. The kid was really excited. He was like, "No way!" or jumping up and down. I'm going to prom.
Oh, my God.
Another student presented him with the balloons. And then you can hear someone off camera going, "That's a good day, huh, Dell?" And he's like, "Best day ever."
Oh,
Nice.
Jesus.
Yeah. For her part, Brianna told the local Fox affiliate there, Fox 59,
Yeah, what's her end game?
everyone should be able to experience the
The
excitement
big
that
tard
comes
dick or what?
I mean, is she going to experience, well, I mean, it's prom. She going to give them the whole experience?
with
She
being
after
asked
the tard dick.
with being asked to prom. A lot of people have said it's nice, but I believe that it is. God, really,
It's the tard dick.
it is simply doing the normal thing and showing honest care to everyone.
But-
Dell is challenged, and they say he's a fan of the space opera series. Is that how they're describing Star Wars?
Come
As
on,
a
don't do that
space
to us.
opera series? Oof. Brianna said, last year I went with somebody on the football team.
I mean,
And I saw the way I reacted to my promposal. So I just felt it was like really good to do that. Like
You want to
do that
give
for
to
somebody
someone?
else. He revealed, I was shocked. I didn't know it was coming. Then I had butterflies and I was excited when I got home. Want to see the video of son of a bitch? here?
Yep. Here comes Dell.
What happened?
What happened?
What? Away. I'm going to prom.
Oh my God.
It poops.
She's got Mylar giving him a hug.
Thank you.
Is she holding a microphone? Oh, what is that?
We see.
Toys.
I will go to prom with you.
Oh.
Another hug.
Another hug.
Look at him moving in.
He doesn't like
Thank you.
contact.
Yep, I love them. Thank you.
That's a good day, huh, Dale?
Best day ever.
Dell.
I don't know.
And she's
That's-
like,
it's kinda
okay,
cool.
see ya.
But yeah, it's not like she's gonna date this guy. Like, does she like him?
So what? It's exciting for him.
Yeah.
You didn't go, so you just think if some hot chick came up and asked you, you'd have reacted the same way. Best day ever.
I would not have reacted that
You
way.
would have.
No.
You'd have been excited.
Fuck you, girl.
I would have been
Get away
like, you
from
don't
me."
mean this shit. Fuck you.
I
Where's
thought
the camera?
Yeah. Stop
my-
joking on me.
my personal reaction when I saw that was the same thing you did. Like, is she giving him the full experience? I mean, prom is an exciting night, as we all know. I mean, you got to go. I mean, at least I'm not saying she's got to put out, but I mean, at least a handy, right? I'm just saying.
Some drinks after, take her.
Yeah,
to the
hotel
party.
room. I mean, at least that's the way it was done. The other thing I thought was, would this story, because this story is being picked up nationally as like this great feel-good story. How much of a feel-good story would this be if this was a normal guy asking a semi-retarded girl to prom?
Exactly,
question.
dude. That was what I first thought.
This guy's just trying to get laid.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it be twisted like that? And
Well, I sort of twisted it that way for her, but
yeah,
no.
But
it
most
would
people won't do
definitely
it for her.
like I just can't imagine it would be
Yeah.
quite the same reception if some girl was like, "Oh my god, best day ever," and acting like kind of like a 5-year-old, and there's some dude like, "Yeah, just thought I'd do something nice and let her get deep dicked by the captain of the football team on her prom. It's the least I can do for him. Giving back to the community."
Right.
People would be ecstatic about that move, or would they be like, "What are you up to, sir?"
It's just yet again the difference between dudes and chicks. Dudes are monsters, and you know he would have been after that,
Yeah,
or at least looked at with a jaundiced eye.
like that. No, it's a cool story though. Good for Dell.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be.
I just wish everything didn't need to be filmed. I guess everything needs to be viral. Everyone needs to get a recognition for
Yeah.
their good deed.
No, I know you're right. And then we got a accidental filming. Well, not an accidental filming, but a teacher who didn't know he was being filmed, and he's now resigned. He's gotten some shit here. This happened down in Georgia. A high school student recorded him calling her the dumbest girl I have ever met. That teacher is Corey Hunter. He resigned at a school board meeting this week. The teacher apologized for any disruption caused by the ordeal. The 16-year-old is a girl named Shania Hunter, same last name as him, but not related. Says she was trying to catch up before a test in December and asked the teacher a question. He replied, "I've been around for 37 years and clearly you are the dumbest girl I have ever met." She added that he added that her purpose in life will be to have sex and have babies. Ooh. I guess the day's lesson, it's not on this part of the story. We've got audio of it, but the day's lesson was about slavery. Black teacher, black student, I believe. And at one point, Hunter mentioned, what is it? Sojourner Truth.
Mhm.
And the woman's rights activist, 19th century. And she asked who that was, and that prompted him to launch into this chick.
Really? Calling
Yeah.
her stupid for not knowing that?
And I guess she's like partially blind, this girl, and so she's got an iPad and she records the lessons.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and so the iPad picked up his rant at her. Hunter could be heard telling her, "You know what? You might be the dumbest girl I've ever met in my life." When one of the other students in the classroom asked Hunter if he and Shania are kin, because they have the same last name. "So are you guys related?" He replies, "No, shit, no." Another student said this is not the first time that he's berated a student class. He would get up in class the first day and tell students that if they didn't want to be talked about, then get out of my class. He was honored, by the way, in 2013 as Teacher of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't
Let's
know he
hear
was
this.
up for the honor.
All right, I know they came up with the Declaration of Sex Admission. All right, then we also have Sojourner Truth.
Who? I forgot.
Who?
You know what? Dumbest girl I ever met. And I have been around for 37 years. And clearly, you are the dumbest girl that I have ever met. You know what your purpose gonna be? To have sex and have children, because you ain't gonna never be smart. I don't care. What? You're a good housewife. Cult of domesticity right here.
Ooh, that's nice.
Good for him.
Might be the dumbest girl I ever met.
Purpose in life is to have kids. You're gonna have children's and sex.
So what happened to him? He resigned.
Yeah, he did.
Ah,
Poor
sorry.
guy. Poor guy. Does that go on in schools more than I'm aware of? I guess I just never realized there were so many teachers out there that were fucking with kids, and like I can't imagine that going. Now I had a teacher that grabbed me by the
Yeah, I was gonna say, man,
Slam
you can't
into him.
imagine that. Come on, man.
But I can't imagine a teacher in a classroom doing that though, like calling a kid out, like you must be the dumbest girl ever. Like seriously, I can't imagine a teacher calling you out in front of the whole class like that.
Who knows how dumb as shit she might have been for the last 6 months, though. He might just be at the end of his rope. Like,
Yeah.
ugh, really? We just talked about Sojourner Truth.
Yeah.
You're asking who that is, you dumbass.
Yeah, I would have asked who that was too, though. In fairness. So
Yeah, but like you also would probably not have been in class most of the time too.
yeah, that's true.
In fairness.
In fairness, yes. And then some dumbass kids from high school locally are in some trouble. When are kids going to stop doing this, dude? They got these 3 chicks, and I'd like to see some face shots because they look kind of hot, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately,
cute.
they're blurred out. They're from Grosse Pointe.
Yeah, they're from Grosse Pointe South High School, and the girls had NI written on one of the stomachs, GG on the next girl's stomach, and then ER on the next girl's stomach.
That's hilarious.
And then a 4th girl has like a hole cut out in her knee, and she's got I heart weed on it. Anyway, they posed it for this picture. The 3 had this written across their stomach in felt tip pen. They captioned the picture with "like what even." What does that mean? Like what even? With some emoji faces, laughing faces, and monkey emojis.
Like whatever. Maybe misspelling. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're probably right. Like whatever. Another student then took a screenshot of their Twitter post.
Racist.
And landed the teenagers. They're involved in the center of a race storm now. The school became aware of the picture on Sunday, according to a letter sent home to parents the following day. An investigation is now underway after police were informed. We had 4 students at a party downstairs. They went through the process of taking a picture, posting it online, and once it went viral, there were exchanges back and forth between the students. So apparently they got into a fight about this somehow, and that's why the police were involved. The principal found out and spent 5 or 6 hours talking to the 4 students and the other 2 that were involved in the target message. 5 or 6 hours.
Let's be honest. There's not a ton of excitement that goes on when you're a principal. This
Right.
This is a lot of
big
fun.
news. Yeah.
What were you thinking in detail?
in extreme detail. And then they finished their sentence like I don't know, whatever, principal.
What do you
sir.
mean by that? Whatever.
Might be asking them to show them exactly where they made the drawings.
Again,
Which
what were you thinking? Like, I don't know,
Whatever.
3.5 hours later, again, ladies, what were you thinking? 5 or 6 hours of discussion. Wow.
You got to separate them. You got to question one.
Oh,
go to
definitely
the
have to
other one.
separate them. That's a good point.
He also talked to parents, other students, and then went through the process of talking to more
He
students.
did a full and complete investigation.
Okay.
I think the
need to get
picture
to the bottom of
kind
this.
of picture kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, what are we trying to get to the bottom
Right,
of exactly?
right. Where are you going?
Kids do dumb shit sometimes.
Yeah,
like
and-
what are you interviewing other students for? Did you ever know these girls? Who's banged these girls? Like, what are you expecting to find out from? Anyway, the principal wrote a letter to parents explaining that while the school could not control off-campus activities, it would not stay silent in the face of racially intolerant language. On Monday, the 4 students attended a base meeting to apologize for the pictures. A base meeting is set up by black students at the school, and it's just to talk about
Let
race
them have
issues.
it, man. Idiots.
My question is why, and not that it matters all that much, but why would the school suspend these girls for a week? Why, like, I don't understand. If it doesn't happen on school property,
I don't think that's unprecedented.
no. And that's a
I can't
legitimate
think
question.
of-
I'm
I
not being a
can't-
smart ass
I
about it.
can't
I'm just
think
like,
of an
why would they?
example, But I feel like we've had stories like that, or maybe we've known situations where people got in trouble
Yeah.
for
Something has to happen, dude. I mean, you have to show the rest of the student body, even though it is off school grounds.
let
I
the
mean,
court of public opinion.
Yeah, I
I
think
suppose.
that's the point of public opinion. You get into free speech things. I know people don't want to
Yeah.
hear a lot about that, but my whole disconnect is like, okay, what does the school have exactly to do with
It's a
what
violation
happens?
of the student code of conduct, Mike.
Is that what it is?
It's clear.
Is that in the handbook that they all signed? Is it
Certain.
official? Don't write the N-word on your chest. And they've clearly violated
Or
Section
midriffs.
3, Article 2.4. Right there, it clearly says don't write the N-word on your stomach.
What fools, though?
Yeah.
Really? What are you thinking?
you know what I keep getting shocked by is
I
that
don't know.
kids, like, I almost can understand 30 and 40-year-olds that get caught up and not really understanding, like, dude, if I put this on Twitter, it can become big fast. But it's shocking to me that kids that have had it their whole life at this point and do understand the nature of Instagram, that they wouldn't see something happening from this.
Two things possibly playing together. They're either complete racist idiot white chicks.
Yeah, which they
who-
very well could be.
Very well could be, and or are completely drunk.
Yeah, I could see both of those.
A mixture of the two.
Or there are a lot of people that say that this word, especially with younger kids in high school, middle school, is tossed around constantly between each other and friends. It's in all their music. It's in a lot of their movies, and they toss this around. And so maybe they don't fully understand the context and the repercussions of this, because it seems like
I have heard
that's
that.
not something you would want your face tied to, especially at that age. Like, we see this over and over. We've seen this 1,000 times. That we could do a story about this type of shit every day. Hits closer to home today with Grosse Pointe, but there's got to be something that is making these kids feel like this is okay on some level.
But you know what, though? I think we've seen enough stories also, though, of young kids that are on Twitter or Instagram with other stuff that's not necessarily race related, just or not that word. That's other, Mexican something or drink. I don't know. You know what I mean? We've seen other stuff with social media where you think, like, dude, don't you understand this would come back to you?
Was there a racial component to all that graffiti that was done on the Gilbert buildings downtown? Remember those Grosse Pointe girls? And they ran to Daddy, get me out of this.
Oh,
remember
yeah,
Gilbert let them
yeah.
have it, man. Or was
Was
that just
there vandal? Wasn't it
Was it just
Google
vandalism?
it. Dude, I don't remember.
Was it Grosse Pointe, you said?
Yeah,
or-
it was definitely Grosse Pointe students.
They
And
went
he set
downtown.
up cameras and gave a
Campus
reward.
Martius area.
Remember, he offered to repaint someo's house.
Yes.
Like whoever turned him in, remember that?
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
And they were
He was
like,
gonna remake it.
inside or outside? And he's like, both.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they ended up finding them. I don't know who got to.
3 little white chicks from Grosse Pointe.
Yeah.
Their parents,
Totally
immediately
forgot about that.
employed like 12 lawyers to handle it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dumbasses.
No, I'd love to hear from people, if we have parents that have high school kids that have seen this type of behavior and could explain what some of that is. If they're just out of touch, or if they're not, or if they're just a bunch of racist kids. I'm not so quick to just go, oh yeah, they're racist in their bones. They hate black people.
I agree with
that. That seems like a stretch.
I'm
but
not so quick
maybe
to
that is.
dismiss, though, that there's
Maybe that is. I don't
you're
know.
writing the N-word on your midriffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
you seen
until
anything?
told otherwise, I will assume that
You're declaring them racist.
It looks like these things did tend to just be vandalism, just words like bitch, fuck.
yeah,
Something
it probably
like
would have been a way bigger story if it was.
Oh, dude, if you'd had 3 entitled white bitches, just like,
Yeah.
although that's what this, I mean,
Yeah, if they would have just written Trump on it, they would have gotten tons of headlines, way more than just out of Metro Detroit. Before we get to email, Jay, North Korea sentenced that kid yesterday. I don't know if you saw that.
The college kid or whatever.
College student, yeah, who was like, he's forever going to be the guy on camera that's like sobbing his hands and then
Yeah.
slumped over. And
The gravity of the situation hit him, I think.
Yeah, it's Otto Warmbier is his name. I already don't like him just because of his name.
And what did he do? He stole a political poster out of a hotel or something?
Yeah. Yep. And this move, they sentenced him to 15 years in prison and hard labor for stealing a poster out of a hotel room.
Oon.
Yeah, I know. Oon is not fucking around, dude. I mean, he's pushing buttons with the whole nuke thing. Oon.
He's on a real roll. Not strapped to a telephone pole and shot with an anti-aircraft missile.
Yeah. The White House is livid with this, and they've elicited strong condemnations from other officials and rights activists. He's a University of Virginia undergrad. Was convicted after a 1-hour trial.
Oh boy!
Why even have the trial? Why did it even pretend?
It went to North Korea's Supreme Court.
Oh,
on trial for an hour.
Why have more than an hour trial if he admits to taking the poster?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, the sentence was the latest in a series of penalties the government has meted out to a small number of American tourists, missionaries, and journalists. They've deemed them anti-state crimes. Remember, the one guy left the Bible back in his room, and I think he might still be there pounding rocks for that move. Even by North Korea's standards, they say the punishment appeared to be extreme for an act that might amount to harmless misdemeanor anywhere else. Josh Earnest, the White House spokesperson, said that it was increasingly clear that North Korea's government intends to use these citizens as pawns. Yeah, I just don't understand it. He's part of a tour group. Like, what the fuck is anyone doing with a tour group going to North Korea?
I don't get
How is that possible even?
I don't know. He was part of a tour group, was detained back on January 2nd as he was about to board a plane to leave the country. I mean, he was on his way out when they were like, "You freeze, poster." Yes, poster now.
Hand over.
Anti-state poster, move. And they arrested him. They said that he had visited with the intent of bringing down the foundation of its single-minded unity. That was the accusation. Oof. The charges against him claimed that the CIA and a member of a church in Ohio had encouraged him to commit the hostile act of stealing a political poster from a wall in his hotel.
The CIA.
The CIA. That's what
we need you to do. We need you to join this tour group, you see?
And then
because there's a poster in this one hotel we need you to take down.
Only
for America.
You can do it
for
all.
America.
Some church in Ohio is like, "Excuse me, Mr. CIA, can I get in on some of this?
We also would like that poster removed.
In fact, we're going to up the ante. We'll give you a used car worth 10 grand if you can get your hands on that poster for us." And the kid's like, I just couldn't resist. I had to. I guess my whole thing comes back to I don't understand why you would send college kids to North Korea. They're landing in Pyongyang, dealing with Oon, who's absolutely unbalanced.
Yeah.
We've seen there's been no signs of him being a human being ever. He's trying to make miniaturized nuke bombs to launch into the U.S.
He is. And at the very least, a college student's going to steal a poster. I mean, come on.
Yeah. He's going to do something reckless.
A pendulum, whatever.
Yeah. Could you imagine doing 15 years hard labor for something like that?
I didn't do it, for the record.
Well, okay, even better. You didn't do it, but you were witness to it. And you knew about
Judged
it.
by the company you keep, Jay.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, sitting there pounding rocks for 15 years.
Yeah.
As if is he even really
Build a pretty
make
good
it
shelter
to 15?
just using rocks, Jay.
Is he even going to make it to 15? You know, I mean, is a bullet going to end up in his head?
Well, he'll be thin. Yeah. They don't feed him very well.
No, we'll have to negotiate something with them. Give him a whole bunch of money to get him back, right?
Oh, great!
This piece of crap kid.
Yeah.
Got some email, Mike.
What do we got?
Well, before we get to that, though, we got to mention our Amazon link. Please use it at DetroitCast.com. We wouldn't mention it so often if it was just a throwaway thing. It really does work. So please continue to shop there.
Amazon.
Moreover, this email segment is brought to you by our buddy Merck. Does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upward of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and set aside money for retirement. Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money is working as hard as you are. Call today and tell him you're a friend of the show for a no-cost, no-obligation consultation, 248-626-2000, and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Speaking of prisoners, Jim writes in, the King, Chaz, and the Homo Boy. I was listening to number 520 today, and Jay and Mike asked why prisoners have TVs and cable in their rooms. it's often perplexed me. Like, why are they even giving these guys anything? Jim, actually, we've got a guy on the inside, Mike.
Really?
Well, he's not that way, but he's a prison guard.
Oh, okay.
So he could be a potential source for information as
Yeah.
we deal with further prison breaks and such.
I like it.
He says, as your resident corrections officer listener, I thought I would answer these questions. First, the TVs in the prisoners' rooms are purchased by the prisoners themselves with money put in their accounts by their families. All right, well, that's good to know. Cable is provided by the state. Dude, and the state give me cable. I don't even have cable.
The state provides the cable.
And I've
for 'em?
committed no crimes that anybody knows about.
Can their family get them like a 60-inch 4K high def?
I don't know.
Ultra
I
high
don't know
def.
what the limit- 60. You've got like a 62-inch wall.
It's just like a full wall screen.
Nice.
Sweet.
Cable's provided by the state, and this may seem extravagant, but it's not. I thought this before I started the job. Now I understand why. Anything that occupies them for long periods of time and keeps them happy makes my job easier and
Sure.
safer.
Yeah, we've heard that before.
When I'm working in a housing unit, I'm one officer responsible for up to 96 inmates. In some facilities, there are 2 officers for over 250 inmates. It is the same for allowing them to work out with weights and exercise. It tires them out, makes them easier and safer to handle until they get freaking huge.
Yeah, ripped.
They'll just take your ass down to Chinatown. Also, inmates in the state system do not have access to the internet at all. They do have an email system called JPay, but it is monitored and they have to pay and send and receive emails. Their phone calls are also, of course, monitored. Any other questions? I'll be happy to answer them. Jim. And by the way, food loaf is the nastiest thing I've ever seen, he says. Remember the food loaf?
Yeah. If I could get, like, that doesn't sound that bad, dude. I mean, if I could get like better food, if I could somehow work something out with the prison there to get better food in there.
It's basically
for
how he
me.
lives now.
Yeah.
Just sits here with his 60-inch TV.
Yeah, like that's, you know, I mean, if they're going to
I
pick
don't
up
know
the
about that
tab on
working out
cable,
part.
do I get HBO? I mean, does that include, or is it some shit package you got going where I get 2, 4, and 7 and like 56 and
Seriously, what a game changer that is for those guys to be able to have their own TV and cable.
yeah,
Let's assume they just have basic 247 whatever.
that stinks.
Well,
Still,
basic
you're not staring at
cable,
a
it's not
wall.
fair,
You're,
right.
you're watching TV at least.
Yeah,
And if it's cable, you probably are getting ESPN and stuff. You might not
Imagine
get
that. You're like watching the latest games and shit.
yeah. No, I know. We know that what's his name is doing that. Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
He's watching all the football games.
I don't know.
watch his boys.
Hell yeah.
Seems wrong to me. Open Liquor chimes in on our YouTube feed. He watched the King drilling it from downtown, just a little short that we put on the YouTube channel, me just hitting a Nerf hoop shot.
Oh
And
yeah.
what he
from,
noticed
from a while ago.
Yeah, he says that house looks like something out of Boogie Nights. Is there a sauna? This house, does your house look like a porn shoot house? Is that what he's
I
saying?
don't think
could see
so.
it. I could see that.
Really?
A porn shoots? Get out of here.
I don't know. It's kind of generic, just rooms around here. I don't know. I can see it.
What
I
does
don't
that
think
even
this
mean?
house is generic. I think this house has a lot of character.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique, the layout of it.
I don't know.
And no, it doesn't have a sauna.
Made me think of God damn it.
God damn it.
And
Yeah.
his
No,
sauna.
God damn it had a sauna.
He had a
Hell
sauna
yeah.
in his
Yeah,
house.
he had a
yes, he
sauna.
did. Are you
The
kidding me?
fear-
Oh, that's a big part of life over there.
Dude, for us, it was
How
a,
big? How
it
big
was a
was it?
pool
sauna?
table and a sauna. It was awesome.
Was it like the one that's like almost like a
It
closet?
was-
Or-
yeah, it was like a 4-person kind of thing, if I'm remembering right.
And
Yeah.
was it like legit? It had the wood in
Oh,
there.
hell yeah.
Oh
Yep.
shit.
Oh God, yes, dude. It was awesome. We'd go down there and I don't know, drink 15 Labatt's, play some pool, go in the sauna.
Dude, that sauna gets you fucked up too.
Yeah, hell yeah, it was great. I mean, for 13-year-old boys, it was perfect. It was great.
Dave writes in, quick note, I only have a minute. I wish I had longer to write out an explanation. As a refresher, I'm the guy that wrote in a while back and talked about how the system is not as screwed up as you think it is. So the political system he's talking about. Of course, then some nut wrote in and said I was one of the evil insiders that runs the black helicopter government. Oh, buddy, I wish real life was like West Wing and that ridiculous show called House of Cards. Those shows may have ruined the voting public more than anything. Anyway, as a person who used to work the inside of these campaigns and quote evil systems, as you call them, you need to know that Kasich's strategy has been the same for months. He succeeded in winning his home state and a few delegates in the Midwest. He's positioning as the nice guy who has a level head. This is to set him up as a viable option in a brokered convention. Mike, at one point, I think yesterday, referred to how candidates make deals to tell people to support other candidates as quote, something that's never happened. This couldn't be further from the truth.
I didn't say that's never happened. I don't know that.
Brokered conventions have happened quite a bit. I think what you said was in the context of like an ongoing primary.
Yeah.
Where we're like in the middle of Super Tuesday votes and one candidate's going, hey, everybody in Ohio, vote for Kasich. Don't vote for me.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty unique. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that I don't remember. That's why I said collusion. It sounds like you're rigging an election to get results. I understand the brokered convention thing.
But Dave continues, vote trading is how you get to compromise. It is how the democratic republic in which we live works. The primary process, once it enters a phase without such a clear winner, then becomes a unique process of putting together the right coalitions. But this is unique. This doesn't happen every time, man.
Yeah.
You know, it may have happened in history. I think he points out a couple examples, but for us to point out like, wow, this is crazy, I don't think is beyond the realm.
No.
Kasich is set up to be that guy on the floor of the convention, which I think is very valid what Dave's saying about that. Kasich's playing it straight, you know, to be the guy that is acceptable or could be acceptable if there's some sort of compromise made. He will need to bridge the gap between middle of the road party supporters and the far right religious conservatives, the evangelicals. With that coalition, he can move forward. And by the way, speaking of Kasich being that guy that they might glom onto, I think I heard that the person who comes out with the nomination has to have won a certain number of delegates during the process, at least under the current Republican rules,
which they can change.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So Kasich right now, I don't think he has a mathematical way of getting to that number.
He doesn't.
But
getting to
that number that he needs
that would even get him get him
as eligible for that. But as you mentioned, they can change the rules like that.
But I've heard Jeb Bush's name tossed around, Mitt Romney's name tossed around. Like, how would those guys?
I think they're overlooking this rule. This rule is something that I just started. I think what people are starting to do, just as we did yesterday, like,
yeah,
all right, now that we're in this, like, this could be a reality. How does this work? And
I think
people are fumbling around trying to figure out how it works.
They're going back to elections. Like the talk I've seen are going back to elections. Well, in 1911,
yeah,
the blah blah, and in 1860, Abraham Lincoln, as we all know, won because blah blah. And you're like, dude, you're
don't forget about Roosevelt's Bull Moose Party, Mike.
Right? It's like you're going back 150 years to find precedent of when shit has come to this point. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But Dave continues, with that coalition, he can move forward. You do not need a lot of your own delegates going into the convention. You are correct. If this happens, Trump and his supporters will be really upset. They'll riot, as we talked about today.
Yeah.
Likely it will lead to a complete realignment of the party in the next 10 years. Here's the thing about that, though. I could totally see this party splitting up and splintering. The thing about the Trump people, though, I don't think that they're a people who are being led by fundamental principles that will go forward with another person. And you know what I mean?
Great point.
They're following Trump. Trump has, he's harnessed this feeling, but I don't think he's a guy that if he loses this, he'll go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start my own wing of a party. No, he's going to go back to managing his billions.
Yeah.
And I don't know that there's identifiable principles at the bottom of this. Build a wall that are going to allow somebody else to step in and take a party like that.
Anti-abortion. We stand with you. You're right about that.
It will splinter this what is the Republican Party, but I don't see that there's a way forward for these Trump supporters beyond this election cycle.
I think a lot of people see things not getting done, feeling like nobody's paying attention to them. You hear lots of pandering on all sides, like, we need to take care of the little person. And, how do I get the black to vote for me? Like you hear all this shit going on all over the country. And there's this mega group of people in the middle that are like, look, man, I just want to fucking work hard and be able to support my family. I shouldn't have to have 4 jobs to do that. And that group of people has been ignored. They're ignored. They're taken for granted. And finally someone's like, this is bullshit. It ends now. We're bringing jobs back. And those people can relate to that argument. And so, yeah, it's like there's a giant group of people that are like, I don't give a fuck about gay rights. I don't give a shit about abortion. But yeah, I want to fucking be able to support my family. And I want someone to pay attention to my grievances.
And maybe a smart person will step into that gap because it's not going to be Trump who leads this thing forward. He's going to see through this election cycle.
You're right.
But there are a lot of disenfranchised people that maybe you can continue to harness and move forward. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Very cool stuff if you study it, says Dave. It is interesting. It's not that unusual, he says, however. It is how all our current party coalitions were formed over time. Look up Lincoln's nomination. Look up Jackson's nomination. Old Hickory.
1860.
Old Hickory. Look up the 1976 convention, et cetera, et cetera.
Reagan?
No, that would have been Nixon and who was the big...
I thought Reagan was involved in one in 76.
I don't think
against
so. P.S. ETARD, the dates of primary elections are set by states. They were not set way back when, quote unquote.
What am I talking about?
You've said that before. They were set way back when.
Something I would say too.
We changed ours in Michigan a few years ago. I do remember that now that he says it, to move it up to make it more relevant. Guess what the other states did? They moved theirs up. It's all a game driven by our recent infatuation with the crap ass media coverage of our political system.
Yeah. It is. It is a crap ass coverage.
Question to ask yourself: if you always look at politicians in the system and see fucked up or horrible, etc., shouldn't you step back and realize it is the people, the ones around you, that vote and put these politicians in power? All the money in the world won't buy an election if you can't get people to vote for you. More to come with.
Well, what are we gonna do, dude? I mean, it would take a massive thing to me to get the system, to get the career politician.
And the fact is, most people don't pay that much attention to it. They feel like it's a bullshit system anyways. And the feeling I've always gotten is, yeah, I know that guy will say whatever needs to be said to like make people believe that I can actually do what I'm saying I can do. And we all know none of that shit ever gets done.
Yeah.
They don't fix the infrastructure. They don't we've been talking about the border for 40 years. That's been a campaign point for 40 years.
No.
And nothing gets done with it.
You were Googling.
I did the election shit. I was just in the election. I'm sure the primary's in there.
It's a freaking name that has been thrown around over the last few. They harken back to the 76 election quite a bit. I get Dave's overall point though. His point as working on the inside is, look, there's good people on the. I worked for the government. I did. And I know there's good people there. And I also know there's lifers there who are trying to continue their quote career.
Yeah.
And are looking at elections that way and not necessarily for the people. But yeah, there's definitely good people who are trying to do good.
Of course there are.
I think that's what his pushback is he's hearing us just our frustration looking at the system and our criticism of these jackweeds, Ted Cruz type characters.
Yeah.
I think he's seeing that we're just painting the whole thing as this evil system. I don't believe that government is all evil, and I get there's good parts to everything, but
I just want to say to Marco Rubio and to his fans that we will welcome you with open arms. Like, that doesn't sound like any human I've heard talk. No human I know talks like that. No human I know talks like this from a podium, and we are going to do this and that, and we are going to save this country. That doesn't make you, what did she say? It doesn't make you wrong. That makes you, or
doesn't make you strong.
That doesn't make you wrong. That makes you wrong. Like,
no, that's the product of a political class that has grown over generations.
Right.
And that's what we get. And that's what frustrates us.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Gerald Ford? Or
Gerald Ford is who I was thinking of.
Okay.
Gerald Ford. Ford and Reagan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that Hillary, she's the worst just because how she yells like that.
76 though.
Yeah.
Gerald Ford and Ron Reagan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jordan the pilot writes in, hey guys, just checking up on 76 Ford and Reagan.
Republican Party presidential primaries 1976.
So Ford takes over for Nixon. Was he then elected? Or did he just see Nixon's term out? Because Reagan was elected in 80, was he not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought he gave it to Ford in 76. Like, it came down to a brokered whatever, and then Reagan was like, got on board with Ford.
Well,
yes.
Gerald.
And there's Nancy with her big giant bobblehead. Yes.
I hope you're right about that, because we have a Google machine right in front of us, and we could be talking some major inaccurate shit right now. That people are just going, dickheads. I lived through that. Gerald Ford and Ronald Reagan.
It says Republican Party presidential primaries 1976. The 1976 presidential primaries were the selection process, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
1976, incumbent President Gerald Ford was selected as the nominee through a series of primary elections and caucuses.
And then he lost to Carter.
And
yeah.
And then Reagan buried Carter.
Yeah. Sounds right.
I don't know that.
Getting
I'm reading.
I just remember how ugly Amy Carter was.
Really?
Yeah, and the peanut farming thing.
Oh, the
yeah,
whole
just,
peanut farming thing. I couldn't get on board with it.
I did, however, write to President Jimmy Carter.
You did?
Yeah.
As of what, a 2-year-old?
No, man, come on. I was in first grade, I think. No, this was in King Kong land. We wrote
okay.
we were allowed to write to famous people.
And you chose Jimmy Carter,
It's the
you
president
nerd?
of the United States.
Dude, you could have written to Bruce Jenner.
The leader of the free world. No, I was torn between him and Mark Hamill.
I can't believe you went with
Well,
a nerd like Carter.
Mrs. Danley didn't have a solid address for Hamill.
Oh, okay.
So I went with the,
So what? You just
better
wrote
chance.
to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue?
Yeah, and I got this sweet thing back, man.
Do you still have it?
I think I do, probably in the same box as my Star Wars cards. It was like a nice little brochure and everything, like full color, multi-page, all about the White House and stuff.
Really?
I got the best return than anybody. I also wrote to Bill Kennedy.
Bill Kennedy.
Yeah, he was the guy who ran like the midday movies on Channel 50. I don't know.
Why not Count Scary?
I don't know.
Bill Kennedy. I don't
Yeah.
even know who that is.
If I had a Google machine working in front of me, I'd look up Bill Kennedy and show you. He's like this. He's this
I was
old
trying to-
dude in old polyester suits. He's just sitting there like chain smoking, and
Nice.
he'd introduce like a matinee movie every day on Channel 50.
Okay.
And I think I got onto it because my mom would have that on TV, and he clicked in my head as that's not Bill Kennedy.
It's not.
It does Camelot? Well, I don't know.
Bill Kennedy's kind of a popular name, so you'd probably have to go TV 50 Detroit Bill Kennedy 1980s. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Enter.
But
really care what you
Well,
would
you don't care what I would do?
care.
Jordan the pilot writes in, hey guys, catching up on things in number 544. There was a discussion about the German wings report that came out. I have to agree with Pilot Tom, who wrote in 100% in his email in number 545. In countries outside the United States, there are fewer safeguards and screenings for pilots to pass through to be in a large transport category aircraft. I'll add that as much as people joke about pilot cliches, much like lawyers, we take our careers very seriously. Lawyers don't necessarily. In the U.S., it takes years and thousands of hours to earn this responsibility. The public trust is something that is not lost on us pilots. So the takeaway, in the United States, always 2 people in the cockpit, higher hourly experience requirements, and more safeguards. Thanks for all you do, Jordan the pilot. So less chance, there he is, less chance that something bad will happen like that. That's him, man.
I wonder. So
I remember that.
Remember that son of a bitch?
Yes, I do.
I wrote to him.
Why would you write to him? He looks like your grandpa.
So when you fly,
Did he write back?
I think I got just some
Thank you for writing.
generic.
Ooh,
Yeah, from
you got a stamp autograph?
Yeah.
Would you get like a sticker? Did you get any? You know what I mean, or like a bumper sticker or something, or like
I have to-
pin?
It's strange that I don't exactly remember what I got back.
Because I'm sure they would have given you something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like a pin.
I do remember some sort of like postcard type return. Oh, thank you for your interest, sort of thing. But I got a great.
You got a
response
to whom
from-
it may concern and a stamped autograph.
But look at my White House return.
Got to be
though.
a shot to the wheelhouse, man, to get that to whom it may concern response. Woo!
When you're flying,
Woo.
and he describes that obviously there's tougher things in America. If you're flying out of country, is it based on like if you fly from France, is that your issue? Then you're dealing with a France pilot, or you know what I mean? If I'm flying back to America on whatever United from France, is that going to be an
I think it'd
American
probably
pilot?
be a
or-
U.S. carrier that has the U.S. standards, but it's just my guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jim writes in, King, Cult, and Etard, the time when you were reviewing a clip of the female reporter that had snot coming out of her nose was a LOL moment and would make a great show sample. Not sure what episode, but a few weeks ago. People in the office think I'm crazy, bursting out laughing, sitting at my computer since I use
Probably
earbuds.
anyway.
So it sounds like I'm a Biggie special needs adult. Keep up the good work. Good day. I said good day. Keep that, E.
People probably think you're crazy anyway.
Yeah,
Show aside.
maybe.
Rob writes in, to E.
Show aside.
Are you listening? This is
I'm
addressed to
listening.
you. You normcore, I don't do anything that's in right now because I'm so not cool.
It's not true.
Wait. You normcore, I don't do anything that's in right now because I'm so not cool that I'm cool. Fuck. You guys are holding the camera phone while you take a picture of yourself, whether someone is in the background or not. You're taking a selfie. It doesn't matter if you're at a Wings game. It's a selfie. Stop trying to be so counterculture when you can't even get your really cool purple mohawk because mommy won't let you. Oof.
Whoa.
Oof.
You know, some people are
cuts
such
to the quick.
people are such fucking idiots.
Woo.
I'm sorry. You live a life that must just be
That was
so
a shot.
horrible.
You got to
So
admit
hor-
that
no.
was a shot.
So
Ouch.
horrible your life
Ouch.
must be, dude, that you would care about that. Like,
Oof.
I don't try to do anything not to be cool, or to be cool. I tend to get into things late. And if anything, I tend to get in things way late in the game, and it embarrasses me in the end. Like I tend to, it's like I
I think he's criticizing your criticism of selfies, but yet you're admitting that you
in my
do
opinion,
it at a Wings game.
No, I think there is 100% difference between flat out just this. You know, just my face.
He's mugging for his own camera.
I'm sorry. That
Do the duck lipsy. Duck lip.
I don't
Look at that. Look at that.
Let me see it.
selfie.
Let me
I might have to post that. That's so retarded.
Yeah.
But it's-
Yeah, post that.
I will actually post that. But I don't have any of these in my phone. We're just gonna whatever. He'll disagree with me. But I don't have any of these in my phone. I think there is an absolute difference between me and my buddies are at a Wings game and our faces are down here, and the game is behind us.
Rob disagrees with him.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I don't know, dude. I
was more concerned about the shot about the purple mohawk.
Yeah.
We know. I mean, you've wanted that more than you wanted your driver's
And
license.
he's kind of right. Your mom won't let you. Hi, Mrs. Fady.
Hi, Miss Fady.
So what?
Thanks for
Who
listening.
cares? I bet you live a great life. Everything in your life is fucking perfect. I'm sure you love your job.
We're not talking about him though right now. We're talking about you.
Okay,
and your
you're right.
non-purple
Stay on
mohawk.
topic.
Right. So what? I have a okay.
I mean, you
so what?
desperately. The first thing you do if you moved out of there is the purple mohawk.
Yeah.
We know
okay.
that.
So what?
So that's all I'm saying is that
Well, I
felt
don't.
like
that's not a
real
situation right now.
shot.
That's
I mean,
not a viability right after.
he obviously attacked the wheelhouse. He knew where he was going. It was a direct hit.
Direct shot.
I mean,
It's not, but it's not though. That's the thing. Like it's
It's like Battleship J2.
it's not like I'm about to like no,
Boom!
no,
You
no,
sunk
no.
my battleship.
Oh, how it would hit is if it would change anything or affect my day in any way. Like
This hasn't upset you in the slightest.
no,
He wants to come strolling down here with an ironed out mohawk halfway up his a foot high,
But he can't.
just purple, and put headphones on and go, "What's going on, gentlemen?"
But
That
he
day will
can't
come
because
at
his
some
mom
point.
won't let him.
Ugh.
And all Rob did was point that out.
Ooh,
okay. So
Yeah.
what? I'd love to know about
you
your.
sank my battleship.
You didn't sink shit.
Well,
And I'm not gonna. I've never. The thing that
Doesn't
bugs me is
bother
not the hair.
No,
is the thing that
clearly.
like the uncoolness. So ridiculous.
nothing bothers
So
him.
ridiculous, dude.
No problem.
Every band I get into too late, and I
Yeah.
don't like it like that. I get pissed. I'm like, God damn it! Why couldn't I have been in this 5 years ago when it was cool?
Totally fine.
I
with
actually
it.
want to be cool. I try to be cool, and it doesn't work.
oh, you tried to be cool.
Mm.
You just admitted it.
No, but he said I tried to be uncool.
But
no, you
be
take
cool,
the
but
tact as, oh, I'm not cool, but yet I'm cool. You're trying to be cool at bottom.
at the base of this. Yeah, at the heart of this, you're
Yeah,
trying to be
everyone's
cool.
fucking insecure. Shut up. He has so many insecurities. I'd love to look at a picture of this guy and fucking rip
Rob?
him apart. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
careful what
I
you
hope
wish
to
for.
God he's fingers crossed he's got a giant purple mohawk. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Hope he cuts it just so
The
he can
coolest
rip me
guy
apart.
ever.
Yeah.
He sends us this picture. He's just badass.
I was into Blink 182 like 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
It's a Navy
I was,
SEAL.
Who cares? Who cares if he's a Navy SEAL or not?
Married to a Victoria's Secret model.
Whatever.
I hope he is. I hope he's happy with life. Maybe he's. But my selection is most people aren't. So, and I am.
By
So,
your what? By your
There's
selection?
a lot in life.
Most people aren't.
I think most people are miserable and unhappy, and I'm not. So I don't really care.
Didn't we just go through this like a week ago? How miserable and unhappy you are?
No.
You're so inconsistent. It goes to your credibility.
No, it doesn't. I said that everybody else was. I said
What is your
majority.
testimony, sir?
My-
Is it that you're miserable and or unhappy,
I-
or, sir, are you happy?
I believe my testimony was that 80% of people hate their lives.
You sat here in this very chair 2 weeks ago and said you're miserable and unhappy, and you think everybody else is too, and you poo-pooed me for not being
No.
miserable and unhappy.
I
You
did
did
not.
indeed, sir.
I believe I said at the end, I kind of laughed and said, even though I'm as happy as I've ever been.
No.
Declare hearsay. Shuts out.
Yeah, whatever. Hearsay.
Ad hominem attack.
Yeah, these
Yeah,
ad
that's
hominem
totally
attacks
ad
need to
hominem.
stop.
That's totally ad hominem. The most ad hominem subjective I've ever heard.
We'll save the rest for Monday, Mike.
All right.
Oh shit. Oh whatever. I don't know where I'm going. I don't care about Kadog anymore because it's time to plug myself. I'm gonna be in Flint at some bar.
Flint?
Yeah, Saturday
like the
night. It's on the
water.
website, so you
Just
can
head
go to
up
the
to
website.
Flint. No, head to
What are you doing
Hatchie's.
going to a Flint shithole like Flint?
I got. You know what? I'm sick of the white rich people liking my humor. I'm trying to see if some other group of the society will find my humor funny.
Yeah, you might want to take a Gatorade with you or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I won't be drinking water.
bottle.
No, Hatchie's Saturday night is where Kadog will be doing his improv. He and his troupe.
What city is that in again?
Ypsilanti.
Ypsilanti.
It's also known as Circa 1901.
Yep.
So check that out. Definitely get out and see Kadog.
Film it. Doing improv.
That
He doesn't
son
even
of a
know what he's
bitch.
doing. Yeah. So,
I mean, you're right. He won't know until
that's the nature
boom,
of improv.
till the second before.
I love it. And it's for a good cause too.
Oh, yeah.
Girl with demacular generation.
How did you remember that?
I know,
'Cause
that's
Clark's
shocking.
wife has had it for
Oh, okay.
forever. So, or demacular degeneration, I guess it's called, where she's losing her eyesight. So they're raising money for that. So it even goes to a good cause. With that, if you're ready, Jay, if it's cool,
Take us out of broadcast, D.
all right.
All right.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and fill out the pool too. Get in the basketball tournament with us. Just go to our website, go to our message board, and you'll find the link there, and you can join us in the NCAA or NAACP bracket that we're doing. So with that, have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.
Listen to God, watch